2. I'm not counting airlines anymore because I'm.
Well, you're live now, so just go ahead.
Oh no, I wasn't going to say that live, but thanks.
No, I just want to let you know. Yay! It's July something. No, September 5th.
July something.
I am so out of it. I have 20
nice jersey,
hours.
Anthony.
Yeah, shut up. Mine's in the wash. I have like 20 hours of work to do before I leave at 5 a.m. on Friday for the Alliance.
I'm flying out first thing in the morning, so I'll probably be heading out early tonight. So if you want to do a short show so you can get back to work, I'm good with that. Because
I'd love to get back to work. That'd be great. Yes,
yeah.
Work. It's fabulous. What was I going to talk about today? Well, I mean, I don't know. I was hoping Rob would show up. He said he was going to be here, but I guess
I haven't heard from him. Usually he texts me when he's going to be on to make sure he's got the link. So I haven't heard from him, so he may still be sleeping.
he's probably tired.
Yeah.
Hey Andy, how much painting have you been getting done lately?
Not enough.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. I was talking to a guy that he's won a golden demon, which is, I'm sure you're aware of what a golden demon is.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So I was talking to him, and I was like talking about airbrushes, and I was like, so how do you clean your airbrush after you get done using it? He said, I don't. I was like, well, isn't that bad for it? And he was just like, he's like, I take it apart like once a month. He says, and I use my airbrush every day. And I was like, so I asked him all these questions about it, and it was really good. He was like, I was like, oh, so what PSI do you set it at? He said, I set it at 50 PSI. I was like, well, yeah, but what about, no, I just set it at 50 PSI. It's like, it's like as long as you have a dual action trigger, you get to decide, how strong, you get used to it. Don't adjust your PSI in your airbrush. He said, just learn that. And then I was like, and he was telling me about, he's like, don't take it all apart once a month and give it a good cleaning. But other than that, he said, just get yourself, after you use it, I'm going to show this. He said, just get yourself a glass and fill it about 20% airbrush cleaner of some sort, and the rest water. And he said, just put it in face first. And he said, as long as you do that every time you use it, just clean it once a month. He said, and it's just, you'll be fine. And he's like, and just the first thing you do is you just blast all of the stuff that's out of there, because that'll loosen up all the paint. It'll get everything nice and just blast out of the airbrush. That's the first thing you do, and then you just go back to painting. So, I don't know. There you go. Airbrush tips if you're airbrushing.
Well, there you go.
A buddy of mine says that, like, and no way, I mean, I doubt I'd be any good at this, but he said he has a friend. His job is airbrushing custom fishing rigs, fishing baits and crankbaits and things like that. Lives in New York, and that's all he does. He just sits there and makes, and he says he makes like $75K a year. That's what he does.
Good business.
I was like, you got to get bored, doing, and another 27 bluegills for Mr. Thompson down it. But I suppose if you get done with one, you're like, that's $10. You get done with one, that's $10. I can see getting used to doing that over and over again.
I'm sure he probably doesn't work like more than 4 hours a day. I'm sure he's at a point where he's assembly lining this stuff. It's like, okay, base coat. I'll get some coffee. Yeah.
Wait 20 minutes for it to dry and then come back. And
well, it's like anything. It's like you've probably seen videos online, but like if you go down to like Manhattan, I'm sure any major city has it. These guys who do this insane artwork with spray paint, and they have it down to this method and this science that they're printing these like landscape pictures with all these, or like space scenes and stuff, with all these cool variations of color, and they're using like spray paint, pieces of newspaper, and like a plate.
Ha!
And in like 5 minutes, they make this amazing piece of artwork, and they're just churning them out. And it's like, okay, here, $25.
Yeah, I'm sure they. Oh wow! Crazy. Richard Ham emailed me because I send him the email every week. This is to join the boom. He said this is the week I thought it might be. I finally be able to make it, but it won't work tonight. But fingers crossed for next week. Richard might finally, because he always said if he lived in the States, he'd come on. Maybe next week it'll be the ultimate drag down argument about why Last Jedi sucks. I mean, must see TV.
I think we have to I think we have to have him come on and like prep for that. That has to be like a planned thing. Like it can't just be he shows up and we go right into you trying to talk him out of the fact that he thinks that's.
Well, there's no talking you out of it. He's definitely of the mentality that it's really, really good. So, yeah. But I actually played games recently. I played a lot. Yeah, I played. Well, I mean,
games too.
Besides the stuff that like I do for the videos, like actually like playing games for fun. I
also did too.
I played several games of Blood Bowl, and I am like we started
the Blood Bowl.
No, we started a new season, and right now I am 3-0. So
you're talking about the newest Blood Bowl, the Warhammer Blood Bowl.
Yeah. And my Chaos Chosen team with Minotaur is running wild. They I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I ran into the 3 squishy teams. Like I ran into Dark Elves, High Elves, and Skaven, and I was just able to just put them in the ground. Basically, by the time I played the cheap way, so like when you knock guys out, they are out until there is either the end of the half or a touchdown is scored, and if you score a touchdown, then there's like you roll a die to see if they wake up and they make it back out. So I like against the Dark Elf team, he received the kickoff. He tried to get his guy. One of my Beastmen ran up, hit the guy that was running the ball, knocked him out. The ball landed in the Beastman's hands, and then we just ran it down. And I set up a cage around him. This is the cheap way to win. You set up a cage around the guy, so basically it's impossible to get to him. And then I just let my Chaos Blockers and my Minotaur just pound his team into the ground until it was almost time for the half. And then I went in. So then at that point, he had like 2 injuries. He had 4 knocked out, and I was like, and so it's the beginning of the next half, and I get the ball, and then I just bashed him into the ground again, and it's just it was brutal. It wasn't very nice. I don't know how squishy teams win against teams that are big and tough in that one. I don't know. I used to win with my Skaven, but I mean, maybe it's different now. I don't know. Anyway, I'm talking about nothing because you guys apparently don't.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but good for
okay.
You.
Well, just there's teams that are really good at the violence part, and there's teams that are really good about dancing around and throwing the ball and being quick and evasive. But it's just each unit has an armor value, and like if you successfully block them, which is basically like run up and hit them, if you roll against their armor value, well, the really nice thing about the Chaos team is that they get bonuses to strength when they charge and things like that, because most of them have horns, and they're just really, really tough, just all across the board. And they're tough to injure too, because they all have high armor. But anyway, enough about that. What did you play? What did you play for fun, Peter?
I played Western Legends, which I thought was amazing. I really enjoyed it. It was a surprise because we had a game night set up over at Richard's house, and I went over there, and some of the guys from Tantrum House, who are local, came over, and they had their review copy. And I was like, "Oh, I've got that on Kickstarter. I'm getting it soon." So we sat down and played it, and I really enjoyed it. It brought back a lot of really cool memories from. There was another Western game. It was similar in style, but not in approach. I forget what it's called. It's Spurs or something, maybe.
Yeah, it was an old Mr. Not old. It was like, you know.
Oh, like 7, 8 years ago, old, not like old. But yeah, it was kind of a sandbox.
Was that the Mr. B games?
Mr. B, yeah.
Yeah, that was Mr. B games,
So
yeah.
I enjoyed that game back in the day, but this one is kind of like a lot better. Like it has more things you can do, and it feels a little bit more thematic, and a little bit longer. But I really enjoyed the game. When I got done, I was just even more excited now that I know how to play it to get my Kickstarter copy. So that was really awesome. And then we played the first 2 cases of Detective from Portal Games, which I'm not good at those type of deduction games, but I really enjoyed this. I actually took the job of working the app, which I have down pretty well now. And then we had other people that were doing different things. We all kind of compartmentalized our groups so that one person was doing the net searching, one person was working the app, the other person was checking through the photographs and making the collage. We had a whiteboard and we taped everything up. It was really, when you get into it at that level, it was a lot of fun. So even though I'm not great at those type of games, I really enjoyed it so far. And we're two cases in out of 5, and I've got the bonus case. So 2 out of 6, and I'm really looking forward to see where the story goes. So
you pre-ordered it, right, Pete?
Yeah, I pre-ordered it, so I got all the extra photographs and all the extra.
Photographs is the best part of the pre-order.
It is. The photographs, the playmat's kind of nice. The extra tokens are kind of nice, the upgraded tokens, but those are hit or miss. But the photographs are awesome. Like I said, I'm super happy with both of those purchases, and I was a little worried because honestly, I love Nausea, I love Portal, but I was super hyped about First Martian last year, which was their big release, and that really didn't go well. So when I got this, I was a little skeptical, but once we sat down and played it, within like an hour, I'm like, okay, this one's a hit for me. I don't know how much replayability there is, but I'm looking forward to the 6 cases that I've got, and hopefully by the time we get through it, we're gonna play like maybe twice a month. So it'll probably take a couple months to finish it up. I'm hoping that they'll have more stuff on the way, but super happy. Both games really good. Played Villainous again, really enjoyed that. And a couple games of Keyforge. So that's what I got to play this week, and all of them were great. So,
all right, fine. What about you, Anthony? What did you play for fun?
I got to play some late games, which was actually a nice twist.
So what games?
Some later games, like games I don't normally play.
Oh, okay.
So I played Blue Lagoon from Blue Orange.
Okay.
Rainer Knizia game. The most ridiculous production on a piece in a game I've seen in a while. So they have these little huts that you put out as part of the game. Basically, it's played over 2 rounds. So the first round, you start with a tile, which is an explorer of yours that you put in a water space. And then everything else you build has to build off of something you're connected to. And then they give you these little huts that you can put on the board. And then after the first round, you're trying to get these resources that are on the board and score points for different things. But then after the first round, all of your little tiles come off the board, but your huts stay on the board. And then you play again a second round, but then you can start branching off from one of your huts. The huts themselves are like little mushroom-looking huts. They're, the color you are is the top part, then it's brown. The most ridiculous thing is there's a door on every single one of them.
It like opens?
No, it's like you take them out of the bag. It almost looks like it's chipped. Like you look at it, it looks like, oh, the wood chips in that corner, and then you look and you go, wait a minute, it's a door. There's like, when they painted the huts, they left a door in the natural wood color, and it actually has texture to it. It's ridiculous.
Well, it adds the immersion.
It does. It doesn't need to be there, but it was fun. Then we played the Bruno Cathala game that they just put out too. What is that one called? It's got a weird name. Subakaya, something, I don't know. Subakaya. Hold on, I'll find it. 1 second. Tell you what that is. This is great radio.
It is great radio. I played that Ganges game again because somebody said they really loved it, and I was just like,
The
all
Rajas
right.
and the Ganges?
Yeah, and I was just like, all right, I'll play this again, even though I had played it. Me and Seth Jaffe played it, I think, at BGG Con last year, and both of us were just kind of like, eh. And yeah, I just confirmed my feelings on that game. I was very on that.
I liked it.
I got done playing it, and I was like, well, I never need to play this again. There's like nothing about this game that like excited me. You know, I mean, it was fine. It just wasn't anything good.
Okay. So the other game is called Scarabia.
I haven't heard that.
Scarabia. It's Searabya. It's Bruno Cathala and Ludwig Blanc. So this is a weird game. It's like a polyomino type game. Everyone has the same board to start. So there's 4 tiles that you arrange in a different way on your board, and that's your starting, and each one has scarabs on it. And what you're doing is, and there's spaces that have rocks on each board. Everyone has the same board to start. And then it kind of works like that game number 9. You flip over a card and it tells you which of the polyomino pieces you have to place. And what you're trying to do is surround the scarabs, but you can only ever get 4 open spaces in a surrounded area, and then you score your scarabs based on each scarab and how many spaces are in the open space. So you need to score from 1 to 4 on it. I kind of liked it a little bit better than number 9. It doesn't feel like number 9. A lot of times you play it with people and everyone's like looking at each other to see, okay, where did you put that number? And you're not stacking up, but it's still, you know, the whole, okay, I'm going to put this piece over here because it scores me this, but now I just block myself my last 2 pieces. I won't be able to place it all, kind of thing. But you know, it's a fun family game. It's quick. It's like a 15-minute game. And then the other thing I got to play was Majesty. Got a longer name than that. It's like Majesty for the Realm. And that's from, I think is it Hawk? Oh, Hans and Gluck. And that's an interesting, cool little game. It's just a card drafting game. So everyone has the same buildings out in front of them in the same order. And then it basically just works. You draft a card, you put it in the building, and then based on which building it goes in and how many are in there, you get certain things. And sometimes, like, if I place this one here, I get 1 gold for every one of those characters that are in that building. But everybody who has this other character gets 3 gold. So it's interesting. It's fun. It's light. It's it's like a half-hour game. Constantly moving. You still have no downtime in it because it's quick draft and go. But those were all fun.
Sweet.
Oh, look, it's Jim.
Jim's here.
Yes, he is. Hey, did I ever show you what I got? What Chad made me?
No.
Hold on. So Chad made me this for my birthday. My cool little painting handle.
Oh, yeah.
So
that is cool.
Basically, you just take a bottle cap, you attach your MIDI to the bottle cap, and then the screws onto the handle. You paint it, take it off, and then put the next one on.
Yeah. Who made you that?
Chad Roberts.
Mm.
For my birthday.
And the little stick that comes out the side, that's for like resting, for doing lines and stuff.
Yeah, holding it your thumb there to hold it still or whatever.
I've seen people use it to rest the brush on when they're drawing a straight line or something like that.
You do that, it comes off. I just drop the whole handle.
Yeah. I have the one the $8 Citadel one. You just hold it like you're holding a little. It looks like a little grenade.
Yep. That's got the same kind of handle on the bottom, a grenade type handle. But instead of having the suction thing that goes in, you just use the bottle caps.
This has like a spring-loaded thing where you can, and then the just holds the base of the item that you're using. Works pretty well.
Yeah, I was talking about getting one of those, and then Chad's like, "Oh, I'm gonna make you something for your birthday," and I was like, "Okay, fine." And then he gave me a Gen Con. I'm like, "Oh, that's." He goes, "Do you know what it is?" I'm like, "Yes, I know what it is. It's freaking awesome."
Chad is good people.
He is.
He's also a huge RPG nerd, which I appreciate about him. All right. Well, hey, since we were talking about this before we went live, we were talking about Kickstarters that like you're waiting on. And I actually thought of this because somebody contacted me about a game that I did a video on that is like languishing in, I didn't back it or anything. It's just like languishing in people have been waiting over a year for it. And they're like, "Do you know how to get a hold of this guy?" I was like, "No, I don't know how to. I'm not going to like track this guy down." But so it made me think of Kickstarters that that we're all like waiting on or what have you. And so I started going through my things. Lazy Gamer guy went back into the crawled back in his hole. He's vanished. If you haven't watched this before, this is the guy that was going to make the tabletops that would spin around, so like each person could like turn the board to like face them so they could read it. They looked really, really cool. He actually raised wasn't it like $75,000 or something like that? It wasn't a small amount of money. It wasn't like a over the top crazed anything like that. But this is like the one that I think I'll never get. But he did an update back in June, and now he's vanished again. Even though he swore that he would do an update every month, and he vanished again. This is his most recent. Let's see here. My apologies for skipping a beat earlier this month. This update should have been made a few weeks ago. Just going over this quick. This is like for backers only. I'm having a family crisis. My wife and I have an aging parent who was hospitalized. They nearly had a leg amputated due to an infection. Unfortunately, they pulled through after a very long hospital stay, but now they're unable to work and will likely not work again. This put two of our parents in an extremely critical financial situation. Every avenue was explored for assistance. But ultimately, my family and I had to move in with them to assist with their finances and responsibilities. So basically, the place where he was, he had the place that he was able to work on the stuff in the basement, but he doesn't have that place anymore. This required a large amount of preparation and effort in a relatively short time frame. Sadly, around the time of moving, we also were robbed. As it stands now, we all live together, and the primary crisis has been relatively eased. It would have been preferably to simply offer our parents money, but my wife and I are not particularly well off. It would not have been feasible while remaining in our previous home. As you might imagine, this has been a difficult instance. Essentially, everything in our lives has been altered to some degree, many things for the worse. Our next step is basically survive while everyone gets back on their feet and plots their next move. Personally, I am working on getting the Lazy Gamer situation moving again. It's a terrifying situation to come on Kickstarter and have to post about recent events and let everybody down. I want things to be different, but for now, this is just all I have. I apologize as much as it sounds like a sap story. Sadly, this is all true and plainly unfortunate. I will get to responding to messages and comments soon during this coming month, and we'll check in with everyone as the next update a month from now. That was back on June 1st. He has since he has vanished. He hasn't even logged into Kickstarter in 3 months. He is gone. He is the few people who got them locally have the only lazy gamers they'll ever have. I can kiss my $300 goodbye. Yeah, just I can't. It's like it's one of those things where it's like I guess I could be mad about it, but at this point, it's like any anger I had is long since vanished. I do like the people that still log in and post something every few days, just like, "Where's my table?" It's like, dude, you're never gonna get it. You're just
I've got. There's still comments on like I've got my bottom 5 of Kickstarters that are past their due date, and it's just funny. Some of them update still regularly, so you kind of feel like there's hope. Others are going 2 and 3 months between updates at this point, and you're starting to wonder, is this going to be the next one that's just going to fall into bankruptcy, or the guy's going to run away to another country? It's starting to become more common for me, unfortunately. I had great luck with like my first 80 campaigns, and then the last 50 have been hit or miss.
No, that's actually not even the one that's the oldest that hasn't been fulfilled. But I actually do feel like I'll eventually get my stuff for Myth, which was they had the Myth game, which like a lot of people backed, and then they did Myth Journeyman, which was the 2 big box expansions, then all the modules and all these miniatures, and that's like at this point I don't even know. It's several years too late, but they have been purchased. Like they actually did go through, and another company bought it. And that person actually posted an update at the end of August. It said, "This is Ian Starcher, Chief Marketing and Business Development Officer for Ulysses North America. I want to let you know that there is, in fact, an agreement for us to purchase Myth and Myth Dark Frontier." And basically they're buying up everything. And he went on to explain what they are and how they're going to update, and how they are definitely going to make good on everybody's pledges and make sure that everybody gets everything that they paid for. So
Cool.
that actually does sound like it's going to happen.
Huh? Yep, my bottom ones are still the same. They haven't changed much from last time I did this. Airlines, Golden Age of Aviation. Still waiting to find out if he's going to come through on the product. That one was due on December of 2016. Then the next one would be Fantasy Football Draft and Management Game that was due in March of 2018. That hasn't had a real update in like 3 months now.
Isn't that just a card game?
It is, and that's the worst part. There's some cardboard components, but it's mostly just a card game, so there's really no reason. And the last update was back in like June that said that they were getting ready for shipping, and then quiet for 3 months. So I have no idea what's going on there. They apparently updated on Twitter that the game was coming soon, but they never bothered to update Facebook. So someone posted a link from their Twitter feed that showed that the game was coming out in the next month or 2 to retail. So we're hoping that means our Kickstarter copies will be coming soon. And then after that, I've got Crusaders, which you said is coming soon. So that's not a big deal.
Yeah, no, we might be able to hopefully get that fulfilled by Essen.
Awesome.
Crusaders is my oldest outstanding.
Yep.
Mine too.
It's my second.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think that's actually like, I mean, if it isn't finished production, it's almost done in the production. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's coming soon to all you Crusaders. And everybody who backed the deluxe version of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's gonna look it looks so amazing. All the pictures I've seen of it, it's gonna be. I told all of them. I said, it's like whoever extra many we have of those, we just need to just bring those to every single convention, because people will just gladly pay us their cash for that one because it looks so amazing. But anyway, go ahead.
And the last one I have that's past due is A Dog's Life, Be a Canine Hero board game, which was estimated for December 2017. So it's coming on, about 9 months late, and they updated a month ago with little text about expansion stuff that they're working on. It's like everyone's just like, well, when's the game coming? You've been talking about expansion stuff for it now for like the last 3 updates. We just want to know, where's the game? Everything else that I have on my list is either not come out yet, or it hasn't come up to its due date yet. So everything else on my list is good, except for those ones that I just named.
The only other one I have that's like everybody's like wondering about is Diceborn Heroes, because that guy, he vanishes for like the longest time, and then whenever there's a convention coming up, then that's when he like posts an update. And then because he's gonna be at a convention, and then he vanishes again for a while, and people are. But he's getting he's getting samples of the stuff that he needs for it though. So he's been showing off. He posted pictures of the samples that he's got. So everybody assumes we're not getting that either. But I don't know. He seems like a nice guy though. I met him at one convention, and he seemed like a really nice guy. So.
I've been really lax on my Kickstarter backing, it looks like.
Good for you.
I have 7 things I'm waiting for.
Wow.
4 of them are from PJ.
God, I haven't even counted. Let me count what I'm waiting for. I just said the bad ones. There's a lot more than
Crusaders Downfall, Gentis, Homesteaders, Imperius, The Estates, and Escape Plan. Those are the 7.
All right, now I got to go count, damn it.
Well, no, so it's like, Diceborn Heroes was promised in, let me look it up here, December 2017, and it's now September 2018. And it's because they don't have any money.
22.
It's because they don't have any money, and they're just 17. Like, how am I going to do this?
But I'll tell you what I did get in the mail this week.
A gun.
Orc Stabber.
You can't get a gun in the mail.
Got my nice Orc
sure
Stabber.
It's just not legal.
Okay, fair enough, Lance.
You half a game of Orc Stabber?
My half a game of Orc Stabber. Did anyone get the bottom half? I've got the top half.
No, I got the top half, sir.
I need to find someone with the bottom half so we can play this game.
You say like illegal things being sent through the mail. I remember this. I remember a person who will remain nameless. He called me up one night and he said, "Hey, I don't have fantasy football either. What the hell? I backed this game. I had no idea."
Yep.
Yep.
The last update for fantasy football was very lackluster. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. You probably pull it up faster if you're looking at it, but
a card drafting roster building game.
Yep. It's primarily cards. Like there's zero reason why this game shouldn't be out yet. And the last update was June 26th. Game on the move. Just to let you know, we have airshipped the fantasy football games to all 3 fulfillment centers, Europe, US, and Canada. We're trying our best to time the shipping so everyone will get theirs around the same time. That was their big update, June 26th.
Well, if they're air shipping,
2 months after, and their fulfillment centers haven't delivered a single one yet because nobody in the comments has received anything yet. Not one backer has said they've gotten it. So 2 months, I don't know what their fulfillment center is doing. If they airship the fulfillment centers, this stuff should have been out a month ago.
I forgot that I backed that.
Yep. I mean, it wasn't much. This was like a $30 to $35 game. It wasn't extremely expensive. It's just very frustrating because it's a card game. If you look through the components, there's nothing here that should have delayed. There's no special miniature. I mean, there's like coach miniatures, but they're very basic, and there's only like 6 of them. I mean, it's pretty much cards and cardboard. There's zero reason with the amount of product that's in this game that it should have taken this long to do. And if you look at the entire game setup, the amount of components in this game it's like a $20 one of those $20 small box games amount of components.
I'm sorry. I was just reading the last update for the Diceborn Heroes thing. He's all excited. He's showing the samples of the dice bag and how impressed he is. This is the first sample he got of the components is this dice bag, and the response from someone is, "A dice bag is useful for games where you have to draw randomly, such as Sagrada. Here you draw dice specified by your hero cards, which makes this item pointless. Please stop posting irrelevant shit like this." Or on Pantone colors or whatever. Instead, pay some attention to correcting card text, correcting errors in the rulebook, and finally, making the print and play cards available that we paid for. You are no longer capable of editing your source files. What happened? PCs can crash. If it didn't happen, make backups today.
The more I go through here, and I find more and more things that I haven't gotten, and it's actually
But see, I have all that money to throw around.
Just the millions that I get paid for my job at TMG, of course.
I don't know what you're doing on the side.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have an illegal moose meat business or something going on.
No. So I was telling the story. So a buddy of mine, this guy, he calls me up in the middle of the night, and he's like, "Hey, can you Can I get a ride?" And I was like, "Dude, you own a car." He's like, "Yeah, but I mean, can you drive me?" I was like, "Are you drunk?" And he's like, "No, I just need you to drive me somewhere." And I was just like, he's been really weird. And I was like, "Where do you need to go?" And he's like, "Oh, I got to go to my PO box." And I was like, "You don't have a PO box? You live in an apartment building." He's like, "No, I rented a PO box." And I was like, "Oh, fine, whatever." So I went over and I picked him up. I think he said, "Oh, we can go get McDonald's. I'll pay." And I was like, "Whatever." So I drive him to it's 2:00 in the morning, and we drive to there's it's a post office PO box station that's attached to this bank, and so you can get into the PO box area late at night, So we walk in there, and then he walks over to his PO box. He opens it up, and then inside there he's got a letter or something, but then he's also got this key. And I was like, "What the hell?" And so and then he takes the key, and the key opens up a big bin that if you get a package, they'll put the package in there. And so then he opens that up, and he takes this big package out, and then he closed it, and he's like, "Oh, cool, I knew it came." And I was like, okay, and so we get back in the car. And I was like, "So what'd you get in the mail?" He's like, "Oh, just some stuff." He was just being really evasive. It was something illegal because of the way he was talking. And I was just like, "Whatever," And so then he's like, I was like, "Oh, it's let's go back to my apartment." I was like, "All right, that's fine, whatever," because he had video game systems, and we were just gonna sit around and play video games for a while. He opens up this package, and he bought a bunch of weed through the mail. So he had sent. And it wasn't Forrest. And he sent he literally sent the guy cash through the mail, and with the idea that this guy was going to. He had found him on some bulletin board back when that was a thing, And I was like, "Why didn't you drive yourself?" He's like, "Well, because they look at the license plates." And I thought, I was like, "So basically, you made me drive my car over there, so I get to go to jail." I was like, "You dick." But yeah, I didn't go to jail though. But I was very annoyed with him about that. I was like, anyway. So yes, you can send as long as they don't check it. They can send it to the mail. Just so everybody knows, Lazy Gamer was delivery was estimated to be September of 2016. So we are at 2 years late right now. So
awesome.
That's That's at this point, you just know he's just going to give up, right? It's just. I'm out. I'm done. See you later.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
I was looking on the fantasy football.
Okay.
On the BGG forums.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's hold on. So the subject of this thread is, will this game ever arrive?
Oh, geez. That's not a good start.
The first one, there was a thing, and it says, edit. CSE has messaged me 22nd of March 2017 to state that my game must have been lost in transit, and stating that they'll send a new copy by tracked courier, DHL, if I recall, instead of just Canadian Post. They said they had a few international backers have this issue, and they will contact me with a tracking number. Now let's see what I know more. Wait a minute, hold on, what?
It's like, why even... That game's never showing up. It's never coming.
You think Gilmore would allow that? I mean, that's a big reputation to throw on a game and not have it fulfill.
Was it Gilmore or was
Yes, John Gilmore.
No, it's not Gilmore. It's Daryl and JR.
No, I thought it was Gilmore. I thought it even
Daryl
had
and JR.
Well, you know what? I'll ask JR where the
Yes,
heck my
Daryl.
game is.
Yeah.
I just saw Daryl at the wedding. I'll ask him where it is and say, "Where's my game? I want my $35."
Designers Daryl Andrews and JR Honeycutt. Artist Rob Lundy.
Where did I see Gilmore's
Did he do
name?
the fantasy baseball?
Oh, maybe. Hold on. No, I thought it was on this page. I was scrolling down just earlier. Hold on. Maybe he just did a quote or a review of it or something.
Oh,
Yeah, right down here under he is just a quote. I'm not a big
Okay.
sports ball fan, but I'm backing the series after getting to play at John Gilmore. I saw his picture. His picture's here, and I'm like, well, I thought he was associated with the project, but he was just giving a quote underneath the reviews and dig and dent section.
Got it.
Huh.
So CSE is that Daryl Andrews' new company?
No.
So this was just a project he did before he started his company.
Yeah, Kart Sports and Entertainment.
Yeah.
He's a developer, publisher, and distributor of board games, card games, and other entertainment products. CSE Games is an official licensee of the National Hockey League and the Collegiate Licensing Company.
Well, hopefully this still comes out.
Well,
Looks
and
cool.
I think it's one of those things too where you're just like, well, you know, the money's gone. You're just like, what am I gonna do? You know,
You didn't even know you were missing it, Lance.
Yeah. You're just like, you're just like, whatever. I mean, I got RPGs that are, you know, like here's February 2018 for Rappanathic color map booklet. You know, just one of those things where it's like, it's on. But supposedly they're gonna deliver in September. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you just it's like you can be, I don't know. The one I'm kind of annoyed with right now is, and I don't bring this up to like, you know, stomp on like anybody's parade here.
Testicles.
But like the Who Goes There game, which was the basically the
Thing.
yeah, the thing. It was like, because Who Goes There is, yes. Okay, I'm gonna say two things. It sounds like the guys who run Who Goes There are the sort of Survival Studios, whatever. They sound like cool dudes, right? They sound like they're kind of neat and whatever, and they definitely do they're pretty chill and they're pretty nice. However, I did think it was fairly disingenuous that they're able to do a game about Who Goes There because the book is in public domain, meaning that like you can go online and you can get the book like for nothing. And I mean, I know because I have, and just when I wanted to read, you know, Who Goes There, as one of like the stretch goals or something, or like you got a digital copy of Who Goes There from that. It's just like they downloaded for free and somehow they I thought that was like a little hey, look what we're giving you for your pledge. We're going to give you this book. Yeah, I can get the book anywhere. But anyway, no, they fulfilled through Ship Naked and like everybody in the world is getting their stuff before America. It's like and like they said like some people are getting their copies now.
I
but
saw someone playing it this weekend.
yeah, there's no rhyme or reason as to which people have gotten and which people haven't. And then so like there's like a lot of people that don't have it, myself included. And they stated something along the lines of people are like, well, where's my stuff? And then Ship Naked came back and said, we've fulfilled everybody's except for the people that had like purchased like multiple items that weren't able to be packaged well together. And so those are the ones we're like working on, like getting working on shipment options, like to put those things together and get them sent to people. And that's why it's taking longer for those people. So I was like, I don't have any tracking. I don't remember buying anything other than the game. I go look at my backer kit. Yep, just the game. I sent them an email. I was like, here, I'll even read the email to you. So I sent him an email. I was like, yeah, so like this is my deal. Like, since mine is just the game, should I be worried that like they aren't sending me one? And it's just like, hey, Lance, there is no reason for us to expect at this time that anything is going as we are being told by our fulfillment. You are absolutely right that this doesn't make any sense about what they stated, and I'm not entirely sure they don't just tell me what I want to hear at this point. In the end, I will personally make sure you are taken care of. I'm trying to choose my battles and remain hopeful that they are generally close enough to the finish line for the package assortment excuse not to really matter. Frankly, I'm a little bit upset about the whole thing, but probably not nearly as upset as you are. I appreciate your patience, Rick. And it's just like, maybe I gotta stop going to bat for anything involved with those companies, because no matter how nice they are to me in person, and I should just reference them as just because every single time they seem to do something right, they take a step backwards. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of horror stories with Ship Naked and that, and I personally haven't had any. Everything that I've gotten through them, which hasn't been a lot, but a few, have come pretty. I mean, late, but not missing or the wrong stuff. But I've heard plenty of people who've had much worse experiences than me to know that there's a lot of bad things going on there.
When Travis had Action Phase Games, that was their fulfillment.
No, I know.
He said they were like, he said they know their shit. He was just he had nothing but glowing comments to say about them.
Every Action Phase Kickstarter I backed came through them. Yeah, that's probably where I got most of my shipments from them through, and never had a problem. I got something recently too. I forget what it was. It may have been this Orc Stabber. I got something recently from Ship Naked. My wife's like, "What did you order?" Because she saw the label and she's like, thought I had ordered some pornography or something. I'm like, "No, dear, it's a game company."
Are they still using USPS mailers as bubble wrap?
Yeah, and I think it was Orc Stabber. Matter of fact, I may still have the label in here, but it was a bubble. It was a bubble mailer, and I'm pretty sure it was Ship Naked one.
It's definitely not Orc Stabber.
Was it Orc Stabber?
Themselves. They do all that.
That was it. Little bubble wrap. My wife's like, "What the hell is that?" Hey, Forrest, what's up?
Not much. Just got.
There's my party pal.
I packed up your game in my suitcase tonight, so it is good to go.
What game is that?
I got Forrest a copy of Terraforming Mars with both expansions and an insert, since he's hooking me up with some Keyforge decks. So,
me and Forrest.
Hopefully, it'll be five decks. That's the goal. It might be 4, but likely it'll be 5.
Nice.
Me and Forrest hang out. Being cool. I get to see the poster in real life.
Oh, you're picking him up at his house?
Well, no, like he's. Hey, I get in at 10. Go ahead.
No, I live within walking distance of the convention, pretty much. It's like a 15-20 minute walk, or I can drive.
Oh, so you're picking up Lance from the airport?
Yeah. What time do you get in, Pete?
I fly in tomorrow at like 1:15.
Oh, in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. Let me pull up my itinerary. But yeah, I think I leave here at like 9. I fly to Charlotte, have like an hour layover, and then fly from Charlotte to there. I think it's like 1:15. Let me.
Okay. Yeah, I work tomorrow, so I couldn't pick you up.
Oh, no worries. It's the company will pay for a taxi or Uber. Yeah, I get in at 1:14 tomorrow.
I get in at 10:30 in the morning on Friday.
Hmm.
So I will. I don't know. I'll
It'd
text
be
you.
fun. Maybe we can all sit and watch football on Sunday evening after the exhibit hall closes because there's going to be games going on. It's day 1 of the football season. Well,
Yeah.
Thursday technically, but no one gives a shit about those teams.
Well, I feel bad because I almost never miss Vikings opener, but
Me neither.
but a buddy of mine hooked me up with like his Direct TV, so I can watch it. I can watch it on my phone.
I've got the same thing. I would let you use mine as well. I've got the mobile app where you can do Direct TV now or whatever it is. So
Yep. So I'll be able to watch. I'll be able to watch. It'll be a little bit unprofessional, I suppose, but I'll set up my phone over there in the corner with the
I'm gonna have
charger.
my iPad set up behind the booth. I'm gonna be checking score updates every 20 minutes or so.
I don't know. I just the football is football. I'm kind of over, like the whole my team's gotta win. But I'm definitely I don't know.
Dalvin Cook,
even
300 yards first game.
Yeah, what do you have him on your fantasy team? I did all my roster tonight before I got on the show just to make sure I didn't forget, and I'll have to check and make sure nothing changed.
But even fantasy football doesn't. I mean, it's like I've won my league twice. It's one of those things where it's fun, but I'm not like in this mentality of like, if I don't, I mean, it's cool to win, but I don't know.
Oh, I don't ever take it seriously. I have fun with it. It's fun competition with friends, and it's a lot of friends from all over. So I have a lot of fun with it. I mean, it helps me enjoy. Like I enjoy football as a sport just in general, but I find much more enjoyment watching other teams other than my own team play if I'm rooting for a particular player to have a really good game. So it's like, I'm like, I've got players on teams I hate, but yet I'll be rooting for that guy to do something really cool, but I hope the team loses. It's weird. It changes the whole dynamic. I think it's why fantasy football is so popular, is because it just changes the way you view, the sport.
Fantasy football, they say, is just it's like it makes it's like somewhere like stupidly around like a third of the money or whatever. It's just like fantasy football is just
it's $1 billion business now. Just fantasy football is like $1 billion business now between all this DraftKings and all these online, all the revenues that are generated from Yahoo, ESPN, NFL.com. It's crazy, but it is blown up. I mean, sadly, I think fantasy football draws more revenue than the board game industry. It's
easily.
It's crazy.
There's more people that are gonzo for fantasy football than there are for
I mean, I've been doing it
games
for like 16 years back before it was even on web addresses, when it was just pen and paper with the whiteboard doing the draft at my local comic book store. We've been doing fantasy football forever, and I think I started my league that I have the very first year. NFL.com offered fantasy football on their website, which was like 2009 or 2010 or something like that. So my league's been going around for like 15 years, but like 10 online. I love it. Like I said, it's cool to go back and look at all the histories and see. Like I remember winning the fantasy football trophy the year Terrell Davis rushed for 2,000 yards because I drafted. I was lucky enough to get him and keep him as a keeper. And I picked him up when no one knew who he was, and I just held on to him because he was doing so well. And I've got just memories of that stuff. Is just it's pretty cool to look back.
Why don't you brag some more?
Hey, I can't help it. I've only won 3 championships in 18 years. That's not much bragging there.
I love how Yahoo keeps track of all your stats and stuff too. They've really gotten into that, which I think is nice.
Yeah, I've been in a Yahoo League for 6 years now, one that I plan on sticking around in. But my NFL.com one also has the team history and shows all the trophies from each season. From it goes back, I think it goes back all the way because I think I remember looking at like that original season 2010, 2011 season that I was playing in my league when it first went online. I've got the paper records of all the leagues prior to that somewhere in the basements. But
Jim, say something. You've been sitting there quiet, staring off in the distance. What are you doing?
you stoned.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I thought that I could care less about something that you're talking about, but I really can't.
Sometimes I like try to fool myself into thinking that Jim is like he's on his like fourth or fifth bourbon, and he's no longer sitting in his chair. He's lying on his back, and that isn't a tapestry. That's a rug. And he's just lying on his back with the camera staring at his face. As Forrest like hammers away at his, he's been muted, but I mean I have no idea. What is he doing?
I was just cackling. I was laughing there, but no, I'm editing a video right now while I'm listening. So.
Oh, I gotcha. So, what video? What game?
It is the Brady Bunch party game.
I've walked past that game like 8 times at Target over the last week or so, and I keep wanting to buy it, and I keep waiting just because I feel like it's garbage.
Well, if you want it, I'll throw it in with our deal.
Hey, cool. I'll take it.
Yeah, because it's not staying in my collection. It's not terrible. It has some interesting ideas. Like it's your typical like hidden role game, but you don't actually get pre-selected roles. You actually dictate your role based on cards you play throughout the game. So you're either going to be like the narc who helps Alice if you play really low cards consistently, or you're going to be the tattletale if you play really high cards consistently, and Alice has to try and figure out who the tattletale is. But the biggest problem I have with the game is you get cards randomly, so you have very little choice in what cards you get to play from round to round.
Do you get to say Marsha, Marsha, Marsha?
It is definitely something you have to do to play the game.
Nice.
Marsha, Marsha. Dang. I'm just looking at. We have a fantasy football draft that is all like board game people. Kevin Burkhart's trying to put it together, and I'm just like looking at this, and Anthony really drafted a pretty decent team, and he's not around for me to hear me say positive things about him. So I'll just leave. So we'll just forget that opportunity you didn't.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys invited me to that league too. It's pretty awesome,
Well,
you guys.
hey, you know what? It's not my league, so I can't invite anybody. I actually thought about quitting it because I just didn't want to bother. But then I was just like, I'll just auto draft it and just muck around with it then. What am I looking at here? What do you, Jim? What's new with you? What you been designing? What you been creating?
I'm trying to come up with money to fund a reprint for Shadows of Malice with a new rule book and some rule streamlining. And I'm about 80% of the way with a new game about cosmic frogs. So you get to you play a 1 mile high, tall, invulnerable, immortal frog with a belly that's basically a giant fusion reactor, collecting terrain by stripping it off this planetoid as it's being blasted apart by meteors. You get physical attacks, psychedelic attacks, and cosmic attacks. And so far, it's played really well with all the play testers. So now the question is whether I want to make minis for it or not, which are going to cost an arm and a leg. So that's it for me.
That's it for you?
Yeah. Other than relocating my son to Seattle and doing my regular work down at the grist mill.
The grist mill?
Yeah.
I had an old DM who used to reference his dungeons as grist mills, just grinding up the adventures and spitting them out.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way it is with analyses sometimes. You just grind them out, spin them out, hope somebody learns from the data you analyze for them, and typically people just choose to ignore what they don't like.
So I like the idea of the cosmic frogs.
It actually is it's much different. It's one of those designs that it started off as giants, and it turns out that trying to reconcile the difference between walking through terrain and jumping across terrain was just too hard. So to make life easy, I limited it to jumping. And then I wanted this mechanism, which was basically a stack mechanism for kind of a first in, last out kind of thing for the bags. And then it turns out, hey, why not use a gullet? And so it works for frogs. You can swallow items for energy. You can puke them out into your vault. You can. It's pretty graphic, pretty interesting. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I got myself a good artist, and I think it'll be probably the best one I've made.
Nice.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, well, let me think. Yeah, I probably still like your first game best.
Yeah, most people do. You like the new rules for the first one. They're streamlining quite a bit.
All right. Well, fine. Jeez. You when you're on this late, Jim, you're either been drinking or you're really bored. Which one is it?
I have come off of very little sleep last night. A full day on the computer tonight. I spent 2 hours trying to solve a problem which should have been solved in 5 minutes. So I'm just beat, and I haven't had anything to drink at all in 2 days.
Oh, jeez. Did you inform the liquor store so that they don't they know not to like buy a boat or anything?
No, but I did get an email from the guy I buy from at one of the liquor stores up north, and he's out in Scotland right now, and he came across a barrel, 20-year-old single barrel that's supposed to be really, really good, and just because it's a little distillery nobody knows about, he was able to get a bunch of bottles sent back for like $65 a bottle, which is for a 20-year-old single barrel Scotch. It's like nothing. So I got 2 bottles of that to pick up this week, and so I'm excited about that.
Well, that sounds cool.
Yeah. So that's it. Life out here is the hotbed of contentment. Not much is going on. We've got school starting up, obviously, in August. My last year involved in the high school. Daughter looking to finish her college apps. Son moving to Seattle, and it's just sort of one of those times that I'm sure hits everybody, where you just are kind of not coasting, but you're kind of sailing on waters that are unpredictable. They're not dangerous. They just kind of leave you tired, for a couple of weeks. So c'est la vie.
Oui, c'est la vie. I know that feeling.
Oh, look, it's the French guy.
Yeah. Coucou. Bonjour. Now, I'll prove to you that I am the French guy. My keyboard is not a QWERTY keyboard. It's an AZERTY keyboard. There you go.
French people have weird keyboards?
Yeah, the letters are in the different places.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because there's certain letters that they use more of than others than what we do. So like Q's used a lot more, obviously, because they are a bit quaint and queer. But yeah, a lot of the vowels are used a lot more, so they're in a position where they are, in better positions for tapping all the time. I don't really understand it. Or maybe I should look it up. But yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to.
All right, so here's my question for you, Barry.
Yeah.
Were you doing it on purpose or getting used to your keyboard when you have your name with a lowercase first letter and the uppercase rest of the letters?
Well, that's a good question. Let me cast my mind back. No, I think that was a case of I don't know, my fingers are getting lazy and I pushed the the lock button, the shift button, and I just left it. It's just like one of those things.
It's got a lot of character.
Yeah, yeah. And it stands out from everyone else's channel because it's, capitals.
Yeah, so I want to say Barry.
No, I was gonna. What was I gonna ask? So like everybody's got like an old email address, right? Like one of the first you ever had, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I still have mine, and like almost nothing runs through it.
Everything runs through mine.
Okay, jeez. Good for you. Let me finish my story.
Hey, you wanted me to be more
So I went into it the other day because, like I said, almost nothing runs through it. But every once in a while, like there's some old, like my Netflix account runs through it for some reason, and it just like, and I suppose I could change that stuff, but it's just kind of a pain. But it is completely, I get hit with so much crap spam email through there, and whatever spam filter they use for it, it just isn't any good. And I know that unsubscribing doesn't do shit, because when you unsubscribe, it just pings it as, oh, this one's a live one. Sell this email address to more people.
Have you ever wondered whether you get those phishing emails where you click the link and you're fucked? How many people have cleverly thought, oh, I'll make that link say unsubscribe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen that, actually.
You know what? You guys can all go suck it, because I click unsubscribe all the time, and now I'm paranoid that it doesn't work. And that's why I get more email on that freaking email address.
Yeah,
and you know what, Forrest? Every time you get a phone call from a number you don't recognize, you should answer it.
I actually do answer it because I consider my time to be very, very not valuable, and I love to waste their time. And a lot of them, they can't hang up on you. They're not supposed to hang up on you. So I will just drag out these conversations as long as humanly possible.
You should record that. That would make a great podcast.
I've actually been told that before by people. Like, I'll be on a car trip, and they'll be like, who are you talking to? And I'll be like, I don't know, some guy from India who's trying to sell me something. And I will just, 20, 30-minute conversations sometimes. It's the same thing when people try to scam me on Facebook. Like, it's like, oh my God, like when you get the friend request from somebody who clearly is like an acquaintance of you, and they're like, hey, have you heard the good news? And then I'll just string them on and then start belittling them about how they're trying to scam people, and then telling them how they actually should be scamming people. Like, I love doing that.
Evil Forest.
No, I love the friend request. I mean, I won't accept the friend request from the like the bikini babe. It's like, oh, I want to be your friend, and you're just like, because if you accept that friend request, what they do then is they copy all of your friends, and then they just hammer on them with friend requests as well. So I avoid those. But I mean, I've definitely talked to a few of the people, like, like, oh no, I want your computer's broken. No, or the best, we want to get you a better interest rate on your credit card. What credit card? Oh, the credit card you use. Well, which one? I have several. Just like, oh, your Bank of America card. I don't have a Bank of America card. You're just like, just like, I mean, they just hang up, and then they just give up, and they're like, whatever, see you later. Usually they'll tell me to go do something unimaginable to my mother before they hang up the phone. But
Wow.
You should say, yes, I'm very interested. First give IP address and we'll continue talking.
How do you think I feel whenever I get those phone calls? It's like, bonjour, est-ce que je peux parler avec Monsieur Doublé? Yes, I'm speaking. Tu parles anglais? Yes, I speak English. Oh.
they hang up on you then?
Yeah. Or
So what you're saying
speak,
is that I should pretend to speak a different language.
or they try to speak. They try to speak English. Some of them actually. I had a guy at the door. He was, doing some charity work for like a Red Cross thing for young kids, and I couldn't really speak much French at the time. This was, about 5 years ago, and he started speaking English, and so we just had a conversation. And at the end of it, I said, sorry, I can't help you, but he got around. He got around it. He spoke really well, but yeah. Be careful if you do pretend to speak another foreign language. If they do actually speak that language, you're screwed.
So it's funny because years and years ago, my brother and I were traveling, we were biking through Europe, and we went down Yugoslavia, and that's when there was Yugoslavia. And so we got off the train at Split, and this old lady approached us, and she said something to us, and we didn't know the language. So my brother says, "Nein, danke." So she goes, "Zimmer?" And he says, "No, thank you." She says, "Room?" And we figured out that whatever language you answered, and she was trying to get you to rent a room in her house. And whatever language you said no in, she hit back with that language for, "Do you want a room?" It was hilarious.
There was this, when we were living in another small village, that we lived across the road from a cafe. Obviously, French cafes are very popular, especially during the summertime. All the tourists would come, and they would park, because it was very narrow roads. They'd park outside your house, and that's, there's signs saying you're not allowed to park on this side of the road. So one day, this Belgian car was put up, which parked right outside the front of our door, and this was like the day that we were moving house. And so my wife goes out, because she's a native of the village that we used to live in, and she did an announcement across the cafe in French. Obviously, she said, "Excuse me, is anyone driving this grey Audi over here?" Nobody answered. She went back to the house. We carried on like stacking the boxes, and we looked out the window and we saw the guy run over to the car. He was getting something out of his car, and then he went back to the cafe. So my wife went back outside and followed this guy and spoke to him in French and said, "Look, excuse me, can you move your car? We're going to be moving house soon. We're waiting for the van to come." And the guy said, "No, I don't speak French." Well, obviously he said it in French. And so she said it in English. And he said, "No, I don't speak English." And so she said it in German. And he said, "No, I don't speak German." But the lying little bastard, he's got a Belgian car. They speak English and French. So on my way out, carrying one box out, I accidentally scraped the side of his Audi, silver Audi. Yeah, it's like, oh, sorry, that box is my guitar, just like bang into your guitar. It's like, oh. And all for the fact that he just wanted to sit down and have a coffee in a cafe. And it's like, wow. It's
Karma's
the impertinence. Yeah, the Belgian people when they used to come touristing in the village back then, they were a nightmare. They would just park anywhere, literally, just so they could have a coffee at the cafe.
When my son's school, I think I complained about this last year too. My son's school, they basically they have a when you drop off your kids, they have a way you're supposed to go in, and then you just go around this loop. So there's one entry into the parking lot that's to go in, and there's one entry in the parking lot to go out. And so you're supposed to go in this one, and you go around a loop, and you leave. And there's parking spots that you can park if you want to walk your kid into class, But the whole thing is that people would come in, and then they would park along the sidewalk of the school, and
and then they get out of their cars and they walk the kids in and things like that. Well, they recently put up these signs and then everybody would end up double parking and so it would just gum up and nobody could move. And so they recently put up signs where it said, drivers have to stay with their cars. You're not allowed to get out. And then people were complaining. It was like, well, but I want to be able to walk my kid in. I don't want them to have to walk in the parking lot at all. So they actually made they raised up put a little tiny bump that's a crosswalk, and they actually now have the crossing guard there. So and they stop the traffic so you can't get through, and so that's the excuse. And it's just still people are just. It's just just follow the rules, but everybody just assumes, because that was before. It was like, even though there was the spot that was just specifically for people to get up, because how a sidewalk actually reaches the pavement level of the parking lot, and everybody in the world knows that's where people are going to walk. And so, all the nice people don't park there because they realize that's it. But there's always that one person who everybody else who wants a good spot to pick up their kids, makes an effort to be there 10, 15 minutes early, pull their car up so they have a good spot. There's always that one person running late, 1 minute before the bell. Oh, look, somebody left a spot for me. It's like, no.
That's very much what happens here in rural France. It's like the boulangerie in our village. People at certain times of the day, it's the busiest, part of the road, and people will park in the car parking spaces. But when there's no car parking spaces, they will bump the curb and park on the curb, which is annoying when I'm going to get a baguette with a push chair, with my little baby Robin in it. And, you're walking along the path and all of a sudden there's like 3 cars on the path. And so you have to push your pushchair onto a busy road just so you can get to the boulangerie. And again, in the old village where we used to live, it was a one-way system where the boulangerie was. And it's surprising how many old people would stop in the middle of the road, get out of their car, go into the boulangerie, get their baguette, eventually after having a good 5-minute conversation with the baker there, and then get back into their car, totally blocking this one-way route traffic. And it's just like, that probably was perfectly fine 20 years ago, but the level of traffic and amount of cars on the streets nowadays is unbelievable. And people still think they can get away with doing, U-turns on the motorway or whatever, on busy roads, just because they used to do it. They think they still can, and times have changed, and they don't follow the rules.
Hey,
every time I get a baguette, that shit happens to me. Every time I get a baguette.
Hey, look at me, Clark Kent is here.
Man, I gotta wear glasses all the time now. It sucks.
Yeah.
I wonder where
Not
Scott
just when I'm reading.
Oh, geez, Lois, I don't know. I mean, it just makes me so nervous. What are you sipping on there? You drinking down a whiskey Coke after
a Coke?
Yeah.
So who's the real Clark Kent?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The one with the hair.
Like, I bought a pair of readers made of glass, and I hate them.
See,
I probably need real glasses or something.
Because they're heavy.
Can I?
Yeah, they fall off my face. They're too heavy. These ones, like the ones you get for $1 or a couple bucks,
Do you just have the the you're getting old, so you need readers thing going on?
Yeah. When I have readers on, it's totally fine. It's just getting old.
Yeah. They can zap your eyes for that.
For reading?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is that it?
Yep.
Is that what that solves? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a Groupon.
Awesome. I need to do that. You got you want to go halvesies on a Groupon?
No, because
I do 1 eye each.
I told this story before. It's like
we know the story.
Yeah.
Oh, do we know the story?
Yeah, because I can read this just fine. Because I got my eyes zapped, and I can see far away with this eye, and I can read close this eye. So
I can do the same thing with my glasses on.
yes, but I don't look like a nerd then.
But
No,
what can you do
but
with your third eye?
I
That's
think
what
the
I want to
glasses
know.
add to my look.
Well,
Yes.
it definitely adds to your
I've
look.
never
Yes.
worn glasses my entire life, so it's like kind of.
I'd rather wear glasses than a bandana, but just me.
Not everybody can pull it off.
No.
In fact,
Most
you're right.
people don't
Nobody
try.
can pull it off.
You're right, because if you try to pull this one off,
Mhm.
Let
People
me
can
at
pull
it.
it off. Axl Rose and Willie Nelson.
no,
I don't think so.
Willie Nelson,
Bruce
yeah.
Springsteen.
Springsteen never wore it like that.
Well, he still wore a bandana, correct?
He wore it around like a
Tupac.
headband.
Did he wear a bandana?
Oh, God.
When I started wearing the readers, I
rest my
noticed
case.
how good my iPhone screen is. Like the super high, like I never really noticed how high resolution it was until I
Yeah.
started wearing glasses, readers. And I'm like, wow, that's really sharp.
So one of my friends,
Wow!
one of my
It's so
friends,
sharp.
who's a big Apple fanboy, was saying, "How come everyone buys these high-resolution iPhone screens and then puts matte covers on them so that you can't appreciate
Yeah,
the screen you just
so
paid all the money for?"
Yeah, like I've got. So I put a glass cover on this one that has no, you can't really see it. It has no texture.
Yeah.
You guys gonna buy new iPhones?
No.
I'm an
Nope.
Android guy.
Android? Everybody's
I'll
Android?
keep my 6
Am I-
Plus
am I
until
the
it
only
falls
iPhone?
apart.
I'm not gonna buy a new iPhone. I think I'm gonna switch to the Google Fi phone. Do the Pixel.
Oh,
Because you can use it overseas.
I was actually
Yeah,
thinking
that's-
about getting Google Pixel for that reason, but also because it's got a bitchin' camera. Like I was actually thinking
Yeah.
about replacing my old iPad and getting that as my shooting thing.
It's a nice.
So
camera.
it's a very nice plan that they have for those phones too, as long as you're only paying for your own.
Yeah.
Once you start
Well,
to get family involved, it just gets too expensive.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
I'm on this.
Yeah,
I'm on
I have like
most stupid expensive plan you can think of.
I have like 5 iPhones on my plan. It's just yeah.
Are they bandwidth limited? Like, do you run out of bandwidth?
No,
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 unlimited.
they're all unlimited data.
Okay, you're paying a pretty hefty amount there.
Yeah, it's $40 a month for each phone, and I think it's $100 a month for one, and then the other ones are all 40, and the fifth one is free.
Add-ons.
Yeah.
Remember
Well,
when
Google's
like
about to announce a Pixel 3, but I don't think it's anything spectacular over the Pixel 2. So it may bring the prices down, and then I can grab one and go to Europe with it. Coming your way, Barry.
What do you mean?
Paris.
quick, get out of town.
Get out to
No. When you coming? What are you coming for?
week before Essen.
Week before Essen. Okay, so you're going to hang out and then go to Essen afterwards.
Yeah, should I take a train to Essen or should I fly?
It's up to you. Depends
I've got
what
a
you like.
pretty big suitcase. It's not huge, but it's like in the middle. You know, the big giant suitcase and the small ones. It's right in the middle. But I've always had issues with suitcases on trains. It's just a pain in the ass.
Take the plane then.
Take the plane.
Take the plane.
Like
I've
going
got
to Charles de Gaulle and then
Take off
flying-
your glasses and fly.
the comment of the night goes to Pete.
Someone clip that. I like it.
That was perfect.
That looked good.
That's cool. That's a shame because Berkey's planning on coming to Paris after Essen. So
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
yeah, he's going to be.
I listened to your guys' podcast the other day, man. It was great.
Yeah,
You really covered a lot of stuff.
did we?
It's dense.
Yeah, we talked about the kissing and cuddling that we did behind, after the show. That's what we did. But
It was a good coverage of Gen Con.
yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I finally subscribed to it. I mean, I
There's too many to
you should see my subscriptions are really ridiculous. I'm gonna have to unsubscribe to stuff because I get too much.
If it's half as bad as your Kickstarter feed, then I can relate.
Oh, hey,
I've slowed down. I've slowed down.
Scott, I will start off by saying thank you very much for the gift, by the way.
Sure.
You know, yeah, I mean, I never would I look a gift horse in the mouth. I did finally get my shipping notification today, so that's awesome.
Oh, cool. What'd you buy?
The tokens. No, I didn't buy Yggdrasil. You asked me about that. You're like, oh, what do you think of that game Yggdrasil? And I said, everybody like gushed about it, and I suppose I should have loved it because it was about Vikings. But I don't. I tend to give a thumb down to any cooperative game that I beat the first time I play it.
Yeah.
You
can amp the difficulty. I think you need to amp the difficulty.
But here's the deal. Even if you set it up at normal difficulty, and I haven't never played the game before, and I beat it rather handily, I don't want to go back because I'm just like,
really?
Yes, I played it right.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Check the fact.
Does a Viking shit in the woods?
Only a few times.
Man. So
no, I mean it's a great theme. I thought it was cool, but I was just like, yeah, we won, and we were just like, well, that's bad. You know, it should be.
Maybe you should play on the hardest difficulty, like just to start.
But I shouldn't have to play it on the hardest difficulty.
But why do you say that? Like I feel like those are difficulty levels made for different audiences.
Such advanced players as yourself.
Yeah, with such incredible
I
skill.
There are just some games that you're just gonna be. There are just some games that are in your wheelhouse that you'll be good at. So no matter how hard you make them.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean all of them?
Ooh.
Oh, hey, Forrest. Michael Fox is going to let us play a full game of Holding On at Alliance.
Oh, sweet! That's the Billy Kerr game.
Yeah. So we'll be able to play a full game of it at the he's got the one production copy, and we're gonna be able to play it. So maybe possibly. Well, I'm sure he'll have to. I'm sure he'll have to keep you quiet about reviewing it or anything, but. At least
is there an embargo on it? I would think they wouldn't want to talk about it if it's coming out.
Well, I think we, but there's so many spoilers about it.
Yeah, you could talk about it again without
spoilers.
Yeah, maybe.
Not you, but I know.
I had offered to send my proto copy to somebody, but they never responded to me.
Hey, Oldie, what did you think of Rise of Queensdale, and how many games do you then? Out of curiosity.
I love it.
See, I'm the same way. Like I want to talk to somebody I'm playing a 2-player game. I just want to talk about it so much, but it's like
the problem is one person in the group doesn't love it.
Oh,
so I don't know what to do. How can I fix this? And I likely will not play with the other 2 guys without the 3rd guy.
Yeah, that's
so I'm kind of screwed.
So you save it for those nights when that one person doesn't show up to game night.
I don't usually. I only have I have a 4-person game group, me and 3 other guys. And if one doesn't show up, usually nobody shows. You know, it's dead. Like we like to play 4-player. Now, that being said, we have done a couple 3-player games, but it was very rare. It's rare, right? Because one person doesn't travel very much, and when he travels, we played with the other 2 guys. I don't know. Right. It's like a weird dynamic. But we played 4 games of it, and we all got to Epoch. Is it Epoch or Epoch? How do you pronounce it?
I call it Epoch.
Epoch 1. 2. We all got to Epoch 2.
But he also calls it Tigris.
Tigris, yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Oh, that sucks. Like we're
so weird. Like I really want to play it more. I want to. Oh, it's so. There's an interesting thing under running the narrative that I want to see more of. Like we're all bad guys. Did you catch that? We're kind of like bad. We're kind of like corrupt. Like everybody's got like a corrupt side to them. So I'm wondering if that comes into play. I'm hoping it does, but I don't know. I'm not gonna. I'm just. It's dead for us right now. I got to figure out how to play it.
Oh, that sucks.
I need Chad Roberts in town to play it in 2 days. Chad Roberts finished it in like 2 days.
It's so good. Like we're 11 and 12 in, and it's just like
are ridiculously quick. Are the turns still fast even at the higher end?
Oh yeah, I mean, towards the end of the game, it does get the analysis paralysis of like, what can I do to optimize next game? but I'm pretty sure, and it's such a weird, like, it has a phase 10 aspect. And I'm trying to explain that to people. It's like, I think our next game, it's going to be a 2-player game, is probably going to last 15 minutes tops.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of wondering. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's not going to be every game that lasts like that, but it's just, I am loving it. I think it's my favorite Legacy game. It's this one and blank is close right now, but it's so good.
Have you played Pandemic?
That's not out yet, is it?
Pandemic Legacies.
Oh yeah, I didn't like it. 2 players. Well, the story was fantastic, but 2 players, it was like training wheels. Like it just was way too easy. Me and my wife loved the story, but the game itself felt like we're going through the motions.
Yeah. I don't know. It sucks because he had a bad time of it. He just felt it was completely random. He had no control.
He felt it was what?
What can you do? I can't tell you that you're wrong. It's your opinion.
What did he not like about it?
He just felt like if he didn't roll what he wanted, he couldn't do anything. He was just treading water, doing nothing, like every turn.
Yeah,
while other people are scoring points, right? And if you don't get into that top tier of the score, you kind of, it feels like you lose, right?
I will say the catch-up mechanisms are humongous.
I figured it. Well, it's already gated, right? Like, so everybody has to get to 10 points, just so everybody knows. Everybody has to get to 10 points to go to the next epoch. If you once you go to the next epoch, you have to get to 16 points, I believe, something like that.
Yeah, something
and
like
then so it takes you longer to get there, and everybody else that's at the 10 it's a gating mechanism, right? Like no one can get that far ahead. At least I can't tell that they are.
And plus, it's like the stickers. Some of the stickers are just insanely.
The stickers are so fun.
Yes, I love
There's
it.
mystery stickers in the game where you like. This is not a spoiler, but you get to upgrade your dice with what they call seals. Like if you win a game, you don't get any seals. So you don't upgrade your dice. If you lose a game, but you only lost by like a point or 2 points, you get 2 seals. And if you just lost, if you were in the back, you would get 1 seal. So even the losers get stuff. And they have these seals, or they have these stickers that you put on your dice that basically you don't know what they do until you put them on until you stick them. It says, read this after you put this on your sticker. Right.
Did you happen to get the level 1 sticker?
The level 1 sticker, which I don't remember which one. What does it look like?
It involves I'll just say it involves clothing.
Yes. That is amazing. I flipped my shit when I saw that. Anyway, that's all I say. That's all I'm gonna say.
I hope.
Hold on, I'm gonna show you a picture. All right, I'm gonna show you a quick picture. Everybody, turn away. What? No, I think it's awesome. It's a great idea.
Oh, like.
All right, everybody, turn away except for us. Everybody, close your eyes.
Or do I want to take? Yeah, mine looks pretty. Yeah, mine looks pretty insane too. But I just love that. Like, you don't know what the stickers do. Like, I had 4 seals saved up, and it was like, if I get 1 more seal, I can get this super powerful one, or I could take this gesture one. I'm like, I don't know what this does. So do I want to gamble on it? And it's I love so much about that game.
Yeah, it does definitely do some cool things. Now, it is a standard Euro.
Yeah.
Bog standard. These Rahdo's terms. Bog standard. Worker dice placement game.
Yeah,
but it's
absolutely.
fun.
But
it's so quick. Like we were taking turns like less than one. All 4 of us taking a turn in like less than 1 minute.
If it keeps up, like I can't believe I'm 11 games in and I'm still just absolutely chomping the bits to play it more. If it keeps up, I think it might be my game.
Good to hear and bad to hear because I think I'm not going to be able to play the game anymore.
Even if you could only play it 2 players, like it is still phenomenal.
Not going to happen.
Damn.
Not going to happen.
All right.
Bummer.
I have to go because I have an early flight in the morning. You guys have a great week.
Cool, man. Have fun at the con.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'll see you soon, man.
Yep, Forrest and Lance. I will see you guys, I guess, Friday is when you're coming in.
Yep, I get in Friday.
Well, I live there. So
yeah, Yep, I will see you guys Friday then. All right, guys. Ciao.
Good night, Pete.
Bye. Yeah, Chad Roberts says Queen's Engine has a flaw of if you aren't pushing epochs forward, you are just repeating the same game. But whatever. The gameplay is fun enough that I don't care.
Yeah, and we're also playing it 2 players
this is
too.
4 games in. Have you played like how many actually games have you played? Do you know?
Like grand total?
Yeah.
Probably
40? 20?
What?
20?
Are you talking about of this game or wait? What are you talking about?
Queensdale.
Oh, I think we're about 11 in.
And what epoch are you on? Epoch.
I think I just reached maybe 6. Like we haven't looked
So you
at
played 2
6
games per epoch.
Well, it's 2 players to 4 players. I imagine it's going to be different.
We played 4 games and all got to epoch 2.
Yeah, I think we haven't been keeping track of the number of games, but I'm at 10 or 11.
Yeah. Okay.
And we are at a dead heat right now. My dice are way better, but he's just been building like mad. Like our strategies are just wildly different, which I also love. Like they are 100% different, and he's trying to like focus on my strategy now, and I'm trying to focus on his. And if it holds up for the next 7 games, I think it's probably going to be my game of the year. Like I like it that much.
Better than blank?
4.
If it holds up, yeah, I would like it better than blank. Even though blank's a lot. I mean, this is a true legacy game. Like once I'm done playing it, I'm never going to play it again unless it's with another group. But the other thing is, like, we just tossed out a whole bunch of stuff. Well, I don't feel like this is a spoiler, but there's so much stuff you're not going to see, which is really cool, too, at least in a 2-player game. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you finish Charterstone?
Yeah, I finished. I played 2 campaigns of Charterstone, 1 2-player, 1 6-player, and I liked it. I think it's probably my 3rd favorite. I like it behind. I don't like it as much as blank. I'm never going to play Charterstone again except with my son when he gets older, and I'll do a recharge pack. But I liked it. I like this game way better, though. What do you think about that? Do you like the... Well, I mean, it's 4 games in. I like the Ravensburg one a lot better.
So we were going to play it. Like, I was ready to go. Like, let's go. We're about to see the new Epoch stuff, right? Like, about to get the Epoch 3. And the 4th guy was just like, I got to go. And he sort of just oddly left. Like normally he would stay all the way till midnight, and he just left early. And then we're okay. Well, I guess we're done. And you can't play. You can't. You guys keep playing, and I'm like, we can't. Once you start it with 4 players, you cannot, because that player has taken buildings and taken things out of the game that will never show up. Like he took one of those special dice. So
yeah.
Anyway, it sucks. I don't know how to fix it.
I don't know.
Maybe I put the stickers back on the board. I don't know. How do you fix that? I don't know. It's weird.
Buy another copy.
It's like $60.
It's a trap.
Expensive.
It's a trap.
Anyway, I don't know. But here's the thing. Then I have to guarantee. We don't play 3-player games very often. Whatever. I will, depending if he just tells me he's not going to play it, I will try to find another group to play it. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. That sucks.
But we started talking about it last night. We went out to dinner, and he goes, I really had fun on Saturday. Really, I did. And I'm like, oh, really? Didn't seem like you were. He goes, well, on second thought, maybe I felt the game was just completely random, and I was doing nothing. And I'm like, okay, well, you didn't. That means you didn't have fun, right? Like, what do you do in that situation as a person? Like, do you just keep playing because the group is fun, or do you just say, guys, I'm not having fun. I got to stop.
Yeah, you announce it.
That's why I think that's why the rule booklet, it has in big bold words, never give up. Like that's one of the things that I really liked. It was like never give up. It's like we have catch-up mechanisms out the ass. Yeah, that sucks though.
He wasn't in last place. That's the thing. I was.
Oh, we just didn't like it. I could see the randomness, but I just feel like there were so many ways to mitigate it, and there were so many choices, and the choices grow. But yeah, you don't like it. You don't like it.
Sometimes when people don't, they just see the bad parts of a game, after playing it and having a bad time. But,
yeah, I had one game at Gen Con. Someone was playing Batman, and after the first turn, they said, "Well, no, this game's broken." And it's like, what? I've got no chance of coming back. The heroes have knocked out most of my villains. I don't have much energy left. And I said to him, look, this game has been play tested over about 600 times. And now you're telling me it's broken after one turn? It's like, oh, dearie me. You wouldn't have it.
Makes you really want to be a game designer, doesn't it?
No.
You put in like 5 years of time making this goddamn game. Dude plays one turn and tosses it.
Yeah.
It's even worse when some pompous prick walks up and looks at your product and doesn't even ask you questions and just says, "Oh, this appears to have nothing new. Therefore, I'm uninterested." Like, well, at least ask me what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, every game has something new, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but that guy wasn't gonna buy it anyway. So I mean, I don't know. People love to hate.
They do. I don't understand them, and I don't even try anymore.
No, it's no point.
The only thing that I would, this is not a grievance, but it kind of is, because I miss the airing of grievances anyway. So all I would like is if you come up to my booth and you ask me for a spiel and you have no interest, just stop me and walk away. Don't make me go through for 10 more fucking minutes and then say, I didn't care anyway.
Yeah. That's super annoying.
I
Because
will
they
say,
don't
though,
value your time at all.
I think some people don't have that skill. I know my wife personally. I think she would have a very hard time just being like, whoa. Like, I have no problem being like, whoa. Like, because when I do the interviews, it's like, oh, this came out 2 months ago. Like, let's just cut this right now. I'm not going to waste my time or your time. But I think some people legitimately don't have that ability to just kind of interrupt and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Like,
yeah,
they want to be polite.
I agree with that. And so what I try to do is I say, like, first off, this is this type of game. Pause. This is not going to allow or will require this, and this many players. Pause. And I try to give them a way to show they're disinterested. And they just don't. They go, go on. Like, you can tell they've got no interest, but I can't be the one to say, you know what? I think we're done here.
Whenever I'm working a booth, I almost always say, like, somebody walks up, I say, hey, how you doing? And then you usually get that either like the smile or hello. And if they don't actually ask a question, I almost always follow that up with, I'm not a used car salesman. I'm not here to push anything on you. But if you see something you're interested in, tell me and I'll talk to you about it. And because I don't,
your act is that you have no act.
No, that's all I say. Because I don't want to be like, hey, you want to check out this Pioneer Days here? You roll these dice here, take them, roll them, hit them, do that, you know. Just I don't want to do that.
Hey, you feel the wood? You feel the wood?
Yeah.
I hate that. In fact, the thing that I hate the most is if someone's going to be unhappy with something I sell them a year from now. So, I mean, there are people, I remember when Shadows came out and this guy wanted to buy it for his 8-year-old. And I'm like, dude, if he's not played these games, I really think you should try a different game and go to Castle Panic or something like this instead. And sometimes people will stand there and tell you how brilliant their child is. And other times they'll say, dude, thanks a lot. I'm going to go look for that. I appreciate your steering me away.
Well, it's surprising though when you do get a parent which says, "Look, my kid can play this game. They're 8 years old." Yeah, I remember when I was demoing Batman in the UK Games Expo. This guy said, "My kid's 8 years old. Is this game for him?" I said, "Technically, no." And he said, "Well, is it right if he tries? He's played this game." I said, "Okay, right, fine." Jump down, and this kid did really, really well. He played Batman. He managed to disarm the last bomb and punch Bane in the face and knock him out. And it was like, yeah, that's cool. I did that later on in the week. There was a family. They had 2 kids. And one girl wanted to play Catwoman. And she was out of her chair and back in her chair and not really paying attention to what she was doing. And her dad was telling her what to do. And it was like, oh, nightmare. And she's like, the little princess is like, are you going to play the game or go and talk to your mum who's talking to your auntie, looking at another catalogue of Catan expansions?
Yeah.
So there, the swings and roundabouts to it.
I like that phrase. I'd never heard that one before. Swings and roundabouts.
Swings and roundabouts, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that really amazed me with working with kids.
Swings and roundabouts?
Yeah.
They just pick
swings and
stuff up so well. Like I can teach a 7-year-old the game and they'll just pick it up, and then I'll teach an 11-year-old the game, and they'll just blank stare. Same game, 4 years different. You think they'd have no problem picking it up? But yeah, it all depends on the kid.
Yeah, and it depends on how their minds have been shaped, right? Their limits have been placed on them, and they lose their ability to just play and have fun.
That's what I always have a good barometer when I'm playing with younger kids. And normally we'll play like some crap, like a game that makes no choices whatsoever. Like I just played one called Farm Friends from Ravensburger. And halfway through the game, one of the kids looked at me and was like, we don't get to do anything. Like it's just we roll the dice and do it. And I was like, yes, you were going to play a lot of games with me, kid. You get it. There's no choice right now.
It's young Lance.
Maybe.
And then
all you do is roll the dice and don't do anything.
I hate when kids games do that. It just pisses me off so much. And the kids still have fun because they don't, like, as bad as it sounds, they don't know better. But it's like there's kids games that have choices. I know it's a crazy concept.
You mean kids' choices?
You just reminded me of a story, and I'm going to preface this by saying that my mother and father-in-law are wonderful people, and they are extremely awesome grandparents. So I'm just going to preface it with that. But,
every story starts like that for you, Lance.
Yeah, it's followed by but.
No, I don't want to. Anyway. So, my kids went to the lake, like my in-laws lake cabin. This is a couple weeks ago, like end of summer type of thing, and they're going, and of course it's gonna rain. You know, like I was like, maybe you should wait. And there was the only weekend that was gonna work, and I was like, they're like, oh, we might be able to get some good weather this day or that day, and I'm like, you're not gonna, but whatever, fine, kids can go, and and just so they went, and I was sitting at home, and they were supposed to be there until like Wednesday or something like that, but the phone rings, and it's my mother-in-law, and I was like, oh, hey, Kathy, what's going on? And she said, Ryland's homesick and she wants to come home. And I was, oh, okay. And she's like, well, I can meet you. There's like a town about halfway. Hey, would you mind driving out to get her? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I can do that. It's like a 45-minute drive, but no big deal. So I get in the car and I go and I pick her up, and my daughter gets in the car, and I was like, so what's going on? Why did you want to leave? And she's like, it was not any fun. I was like, well, your brother's there. And she's like, yeah, but he can have fun doing nothing. And I was like, oh, and I was just like, okay. And so we're driving, and I was like, so what happened? And like the clincher was that because like my brother and sister-in-law's 2 kids were there as well, and I was like, weren't you having fun with Sierra and Austin? And she's like, no, I mean, they were just, I was like, I wanted to play a board game. And I was like, okay, because like my daughter plays a lot of board games. And she, like they went through the small selection of board games they had, and they had Clue. And my daughter really wanted to play Clue. Like I had mentioned that I played an old game called Clue, and she's played other deduction games with me. And so she really wanted to play. And then, so she was going to read the rules and then teach it to her 2 cousins to play. But they didn't want her to read the rules because they said it wouldn't be fair. So they said, we'll let Grandma read the rules and then she can teach it to us. Because they thought, I don't know, maybe my daughter would cheat or something like that. But I mean, she wouldn't have. And I was like, so we went and asked Grandma if she'd read the rules, and Grandma Kathy said, she read the rules for like about a half minute. She said, this game's too complex. I'm not going to do it. And she was like, at that point, she said, I just wanted to go home because I was like, Clue was too complex. It's just like, all right. I guess it's got a little bit of funkiness to it, right? It's got a, I mean,
Yeah, but going back
I
to
don't think
kids,
Clue's that easy. Is it? It's not like a 5-minute rule.
well, I mean, it's just the big thing. The only things you have to remember about Clue is you have the setup, like when you hand out the cards, you got to make sure that that everybody gets their thing and understands how the questioning happened. But after you do that, all it is you go, and the big thing is people have to remember is you have to be in the room to ask for that room. And a lot of people like cheat and don't play that way.
Wait, what?
What's going on?
I was going to read the copy. I was going to read the rules for Clue to actually see how complex they were, but this is not Clue. This is Clue's Secrets and Spies.
What is that?
So the whole thing with Clue is, okay, you take all the cards, you shuffle them all up, and this is from memory because I play Clue a lot, and I could be wrong here in a place or two. But you take all the cards, you shuffle them all up, you deal them out evenly. First thing you do is you take one card that's a person, one card that's a room, and one card that's a weapon, and you put that in the envelope. So those are set aside. Then you take the rest of the cards and you shuffle them up evenly and give them to all the other players. So then you take your little clue sheet and you scratch off, like you have yours that it can't be that's in that envelope, and then you start off each person, like the players start in like certain rooms. I don't remember which one.
These are the rules right here.
But wait a minute, you roll it. Here, I'm going to finish, and you can tell me how wrong I am.
No, like legit. Like the rules are on the screen. Like this.
I know. Just give me a second. I'm not looking because I want to try to remember them. So then you roll a die, and then you move around in the mansion. And the thing is that once you're in a room, you can pick a player, and you tell them, I think it was so and so with the gun in this room, the room that you're in. And if they have any of those cards, they can show them to you. And then they have to show one. And then you scratch it off.
Wait, can or must?
They have to show you one card.
They have to show you one card.
Even if they have all three, they have to show you one.
They show you one, and it's a smart strategy to show the one that's the same one over and over again if they're dumb enough to ask for it.
So the big trick is that you almost always ask cards that you have. So they don't have those, and so if you ask somebody, if you end up asking all the other players for the revolver and nobody has it, then the revolver is the gun, is the weapon that's in the envelope. That's how that works.
I'm going to assume your mother-in-law doesn't play many games.
She loves playing Yahtzee.
I think the problem was her readers were probably slipping off her nose because she got the glass pair.
Yes, she loves playing Yahtzee. She loves playing Yahtzee, but she calls it Yaki. I've never heard anybody else refer to it. She's like, she was like, does anyone want to play Yaki? And I was like, what's Yaki? Yaki, roll the dice. I was like, I was like, what?
It's easy, apparently.
And then she gets the game out, and and once again, I love my mother-in-law. She's a wonderful woman. She gets the game out. She gets the game out, and she goes, and here she's holding a box of Yahtzee, and she says, Yaki. And I was like, you mean Yahtzee? No, it says Yaki. I was just like, okay, either you're pulling me leg at this point. And then my wife says she's always called it Yaki. Just roll with it. I was like, all right, fine. Let's play some Yaki. Give me the dice. But she loves playing Yaki.
Cool.
Somehow I think that should be the name of a little parrot.
As far as games go, my stepfather is like probably the best cribbage player I know. He's just got an innate perfection when it comes to cribbage, and he's just fantastic at it. My mother is a great pinochle player. Probably one of the best I know. And she likes a lot of the games, like the games that I play. She'll play them. She really likes anything like that social deduction, because she lies. So she's just a big liar. My brother was one who got me into D&D. My sister doesn't play a lot of games, but she really likes puzzles. Really likes putting puzzles together. Yeah, I was weird. I was the one who had all the board. My brother played a lot of Risk. He loved playing Risk. I was always happy when he'd invite me to play Risk with him.
On that note, I'm gonna say goodnight, gents. It's approaching midnight.
I'm actually gonna cut it short tonight because I've got a ton of work to do before I leave Friday. So, did you get everything moved, Scott?
No.
No.
No, it doesn't help to have.
Good night, Jimmy. It was good seeing you.
Like changing the wheels of a car. See you, Jim. It's like changing the wheels of a car while it's going 100 miles an hour. It's a little hard. Trying to like account for every little problem.
Break everybody's heart and shut it down again.
Oh.
No.
Man, I'll tell you what. I've never had. I'm not gonna say anything.
No, I'm sure you will. I'll say this: if you are a painter of miniatures, somebody told me that Scale 75 paint was really, really, really awesome, and like I kept hearing it and kept hearing it and kept hearing it, and then I finally got some, and it might be the best paint out there. That isn't airbrush paint. Though you can airbrush it up. You can get it to work in airbrush if you mix it with a little flow improver. But if you want really, really bright colors that will cover like a lot of yellows and reds, it takes multiple layers of paint to cover up like blacks and things like that. Not this, man. The pigment is so thick in these paints. Yes, excellent stuff.
What is it?
It's called Scale 75. It's mostly sold in Europe, but there's a few places online. Like Competition Minis. I'm going to say that again. CompetitionMinis.com is like, I don't know how I managed to find that site. They have a threshold of like $45 for free shipping, and I mean everything's like 20% off. And they ship it priority mail, so you have it in 2 days. I don't know how they make any money, but volume or something. But CompetitionMinis.com. Paints, brushes, well, anything miniatures painting related, they have it. Other than the miniatures. So if you're just looking for paints and terrain and like all the other stuff that you use, strongly suggest Competition Minis. Really, really good. But there you go. Barry, can we get you to play a song for us as we're wrapping up?
What would you like?
I don't know.
You guys need to do another rendition of what did you do last week?
Oh, that's Led Zeppelin.
Whole lot of love.
You said moving, and I'm not fooling. 6 o'clock in the morning. It's 6 o'clock in the bloody morning, and I'm making this much noise. Luckily, it's soundproofed.
You're gonna wake everybody
Cashmere. There you go. Play some Cashmere. Play us out.
Oh, I love Cashmere.
Which one's Cashmere? I don't know the titles.
Oh,
right. It's hard on the classical, I'll tell you.
Look at that stretch there. Yeah.
Oh, we got a request for Over the Hills and Far Away.
Don't know that one.
Tina the Board Gamer, 6 a.m. He's in France.
Hey, man, so the way you move, gonna make it sweat, gonna make you groove.
Oh, I was going to talk about this. So there's this you can play softly in the background while I tell my story.
Okay, yeah.
Please,
Okay.
Barry. Just play something in the background.
Don't overpower the story.
Yeah. There you go. I'll let shut up. Everybody just shut up for a second.
All right, hurry up and get through
When
this.
the
I gotta
day is long.
No, so
And you think you've had enough.
okay. So anyway, it's just acoustics, please.
Everybody.
There's a place in town. It was called Vinyl Giant, and they basically they sell used records. That's their big thing. They sell some like new ones too, but mostly it's used records. And I kind of knew the guy who ran it, just like friend of a friend kind of thing. I didn't really know him. And he actually just opened. He got a new spot, and he decided that he would have basically half of his place be board games, and half of his place be records. And my one of the things is that I really I've always been a big believer in hi-fi systems. I think albums sound better than any music that's ever. So I'm meeting with him next Tuesday, and it sounds like he's going to we're going to figure out a way to like transport most of my collection that I just want to get rid of. And we're just going to do pretty much almost like, we're going to do trade. You know, like basically I'm going to be able to get a bunch of records and a really nice stereo system. And I'm able to get rid of most of my games. I'm actually pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be amazing. Awesome. But anyway, it wasn't that.
Now that is a lie.
Ooh, play the Ricardo wants you to play the Cure.
You're doing vinyl? You're doing vinyl, Lance?
I love vinyl. I've always like
Man, you and Chad Roberts. So crazy.
There's something about the sound of an album.
And the hissing and the,
but the actual like it is a warm it is a warmer sound.
See, and I love cassettes.
The thing
I'm not
is,
even
I think
joking.
what you're talking
I had a
about
whole
there.
boatload of cassettes in my car.
What did you say, Forrest?
I had a whole boatload of cassettes in my car. I love cassettes.
Oh yeah, those are awesome. That's an awesome medium.
Especially if you've got like
cassettes.
The reverse player as well, which plays the other side as soon as the first side finishes. Yeah.
Right?
Auto reverse. I still remember there was this. Okay, this is a weird story from my childhood. So I like everybody. I had a Walkman. You know,
I gotta run.
Like, no. Okay, fine. Go away. What do I care?
Go.
I didn't even play any Depeche Mode.
All right. So does everybody remember Double Dragon, the video game? Okay, and so like there was this 7-Eleven that was near my place, and they had like 4 or 5 of the absolute best. They had Street Fighter 2, they had Double Dragon, they had what was one of the shooters where you're the spaceship back and
Defender.
forth.
Galaga.
No, not Defender. Like it was like Galaga clone. I know it was Gyrus is what it was. But they had like 4 or 5 of like the best coin operated video games ever. And I remember I would go there. I would actually drive there in my car with like $6-7 worth of quarters, and that was how get a big gulp. And I would spend time just playing Street Fighter 2 and stuff like that. And I remember I had my headphones on, my Walkman. I had like made a tape of something, but like it was like a 90-minute tape, 45 minutes, something besides. And I had forgotten that like I hadn't filled up like 50 minutes of one side just for whatever reason. But it was auto reverse. So I'm just sitting there and I've got the headphones on, music's long away. But my own mixtape. I'm sitting there like Metallica is playing in my ears, and I'm just sitting there playing video games. And I remember like I literally like jumped out of my skin because it reached the end. And then I like so in the zone, I forgot that I had headphones on, forgot that I was sitting there. It hits the end, it auto reverses back. Metallica's Hit the Lights like chimes in, and I was like, just it's super loud volume, and I'm like literally because I'd forgotten, all of a sudden like super loud guitars fill my ears. So, like I throw the thing off my head, I'm just like
you lost your
freaking
life.
out. Yeah,
that happened to me as well. Tears for Fears, the songs from the Big Chair. There's like one side which is completely full, and then the other side there's only like 2-3 tracks, and then there's like a big 20-minute silence. Yep. So you walk in and you think, "Oh, what's going on?" And then as you said, you forget your headphones are on. It flips over, and all of a sudden, it's like, "Oh yeah, I'm listening to music."
Songs from the Big Chair is such a great album.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Like my 80s.
I can just listen to that
whole album
over and over on loop.
Yeah, 12-inch mix is good as well. I love that. I was so chuffed the day I got the American 12-inch version of Shout. And he's like,
where's the 12-inch version?
Welcome to your life.
There's no turning back. Even we sleep, we will find you
acting on your best behavior, doing your best on Mother Nature. Everybody wants the world. Yeah, I turned my wife onto them.
Yeah,
love them.
That's great.
Lance, look at the chat. I asked a question.
You guys could go to the Record Town in Fort Worth. It just reopened. I don't
you asked a
understand
question? What question?
What question?
I don't see a question, Forrest.
Orleans Dungeon Roll was the third one. Was it Pioneer Days to brush up on the rules?
Orleans Dungeon Roll and Pioneer Days.
Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, school on Friday. I don't care about this weekend, and I'm in love. Sunday always comes too late. Friday never hesitates.
I like how Force is on a delay.
Yeah, he probably sounds perfect in his head, right? Because you're hearing it.
That's the fun bit when I do Berkey and Badger. Berkey breaks into a song with me, and it's like, the live stream is just so out of sync. But when we get the audio and we mix it together, it's incredible. It just syncs perfectly. I love it. We should do more.
I didn't think about the syncing.
So was Kabuki Kid the person you met at Gen Con and didn't realize it was her?
No.
You were talking about that on the show, though, right?
Yeah, I was.
I'm gonna guess it was Pete.
No, it was me.
Oh, it was
Anthony? I'll write him out. It was me. We talked for like 5 minutes. We talked for like 5 minutes, and he's like, Anthony. Yes, that's who you are.
Yeah, because every time I talk to you on the Alaboom, it's always just your logo. There's never your face there. And it's like, I recognize the voice, but I don't know who this gorgeous young man is. And it's like, you sat there and it's like, is it a fan or is it someone that I actually know? Yeah.
Speaking of which, I totally almost posted on your thread that you posted in the board game reviewers thing, Anthony. I was so tempted to put that mine GIF you always use. mine.
I wasn't asking people they wanted the copy. I just wanted.
I know it didn't make much sense. That's why I didn't do it, but I was tempted.
Mine.
all ever wanted.
Anybody watch Ozark yet?
It is here.
The Ozark?
Season 2. I'll take the Depeche Mode.
So necessary, they can only do harm.
And now go into Vladimir Rumor.
Oh, Lance, we should do some karaoke. Oh, be fun.
I don't sing unless I'm drunk.
Well, then drink. I wonder if Pete sings.
I don't really
remember
drink
you
anymore.
singing in the BGG Con.
Oh, Yazoo,
Guitar
yes.
That's because I had been plied with free beer by your who's that guy who runs that?
Jared.
Yeah, I walked in. He's like, "Oh, do you want to do something?" I was like, "Nah, I just heard the music." And he's like, "Oh, you want a beer?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So then we had a beer together. We sat there and jammed. You want another beer? Yeah, sure. I had another beer. And he's like, "You want another one?" Yeah, sure. And I was like, fourth beer. I was like, I heard somebody murdering and trying to sing a Pearl Jam song, and I was like, "All right, here, give me this microphone."
The guy who does Jeremy does it
What?
so good.
What?
The guy who does Jeremy does it so well. He's awesome.
Eddie
Are we-
Vedder's hard
Are we
to do.
doing that?
Eddie Vedder, yeah.
No,
Who sang
there's a
Jeremy?
BGG Con guy. The BGG Con guy does Jeremy. He sings Jeremy. I always request every time I go to the Guitar Hero room. Rock band. I request him to sing it because he's so good at it.
Damn it! One of these years I gotta go to BGG Con. We gotta talk
Lance, are we
about
hanging out there this year?
Better than me, Scott? I sang Jeremy. I thought I did pretty well.
I'll just talk to myself.
I couldn't hear you.
I asked Lance 3 times. The same
I couldn't hear it.
Jeremy
What did you say, Anthony?
I said, Lance, are we going to hang out there this year?
At the BGG Con?
At the Rock Band room?
Oh yeah. I'll go to Rock Band. Once again, I gotta be drunk, but I mean, I'll sing. For a second, maybe I thought you were talking about me because I thought I rocked Jeremy pretty hard when I was in there.
Yeah, you did.
But
I think it was
that-
you and your buddy who were saying that together.
What?
You were duetting or something.
Oh yeah. Jeremy Spooky.
I swear to God,
That
I have like $1,000 worth of Rock Band songs on there. I mean,
Well,
I
yeah,
bought like
except like half of them didn't work.
song. I know. Well,
Like-
what's up with that? I don't understand that. It's connected.
Yeah, because I was like, "Oh, sweet, you're Metallica," and I was like, "Oh, I'll sing Damage Incorporated." Nah, we can't use that one. Okay, fine. Okay, let's do A Wolf and Man. That one doesn't work either. Okay, let's do Bleeding Me. Sorry, it doesn't work. And it's
I
like,
need to figure out how to back that up or re-download them or something.
yeah,
That's so
Fix it.
frustrating. I mean, I think I spent $1,000 on the Rock Band songs.
well,
I
and I'm
bought
pretty
all of them.
well. I'm pretty sure you didn't spend $1,000 on having good drinks in the vendor hall. But I mean,
You don't know how much that pink lemonade there costs, sir. It's $50 an urn.
$50 an urn. They are overcharging you.
I don't know what it costs.
$49.50.
I don't know what it costs.
The ice is like $75 extra.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to get my songs.
Yeah,
Because they're
I
only
really
on
want-
that Xbox. I mean, I guess they're tied to my account, right? Theoretically.
No, theoretically. I belted out Fat Bottom Girls too. That's like one of my favorite songs of all time.
That room was pretty damn loud.
Oh my gosh! And it was going. I left at 4:00 in the morning, and there was still like 15 people in there.
They're
Just-
hardcore.
Yeah, they were having a good time. Like I said, the free beer helped.
Oh yeah.
And I never tracked down the
What
Bart
were you looking
Brunsheen.
for?
Bart Brunsheen wasn't there. He wasn't there, and I was trying to track down the secret Scotch tasting night because that was the other night that I ended up drinking way too much. And That was like
the Scotch tasting that turned into a secret.
Well, yeah, it turned into a secret, and I just happened to find it because I was looking for Seth Jaffe at like midnight, and I walk in and there's 4 guys drinking, and I was friends with 2 of them, and I became really good friends with all 4 shortly because they were like they had $200 bottles of Scotch that they were sharing.
They were very generous with the Scotch. I remember that one year.
Well,
and people were like literally taking. I mean, there had to be hundreds of dollars of bottles, like, and they're just like,
yeah,
swinging.
Well, that was, and the weird thing was, it was like that was weird because I ended up talking to this one guy, and like he literally said, he's like, because I was talking about the fact that I was going to be doing some work in my house, and he's like, "What do you do? Need drywall?" And I was like, "Eventually, I'm going to need drywall." And he's like, gave me his card. He's like, "I'll come up and do your drywall for you if we play games." And I was like, "Dude, I live in Minnesota." He's like, "Yeah, I got freaking flyer miles. I'll just go."
Who was that?
He's a friend of Bart Bernstein's. I can't think of his name right now. I got his card somewhere, and like but he's always just like, "Oh, I'll come up there. You give me a bed to sleep on and the ability to play games
and a trowel."
Yeah, he's like, I will put all the drywall up.
Drywall the shit out of anything.
This is quite a long outro.
Yeah, it has been.
John Williams special. Oh yeah.
No, that sounded like Classical Gas.
It was Classical Gas.
Okay, I was just gonna say that's not John Williams.
Well, John Williams did it.
Well, Eric Clapton did Classical Gas.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Did everybody do Classical Gas?
And wasn't it Mason Williams that did it?
I can't remember the original. No.
Lost in time.
Yeah.
All
the
right,
Shadows
guys.
did it.
Are you gonna stay up? Or you guys stay up and talk? I don't want to like shut this thing down.
No.
Talk about something.
I gotta go. I
can leave you with a topic.
I gotta go play Overwatch for like an hour before I go to bed.
I've got to play Claustrophobia.
Overwatch is dead. Long live Fortnite.
Star Wars.
Don't
number one best-selling Blu-ray of 2018.
Well
the
deserved.
Avengers.
Wait, whoa! What are you gonna tell me? Because why? Overwatch is just a more stylized but worse version of Team Fortress 2.
You are so incredibly wrong. Team Fortress used to be my favorite game of all time, and now it's Overwatch. It's not even close. There's 28 diverse characters.
Yeah, it's too many. That's too many.
That's not what. That's what.
It's too many.
I want to chime in on the Fortnite Overwatch debate.
All right, I gotta go. Have fun.
Take it easy,
Bye,
Scott.
guys.
Where are you on this one there?
I thought
Anthony's gone.
No. I'm not saying Fortnite's a bad game, but Overwatch is spectacular. They do frequent updates. They do free frequent updates, which no game that's similar to Overwatch does. You know, and plus it's apples to oranges. I mean, one's a third-person shooter and one's a first-person shooter. One's team-based and one's pretty much, I mean, you got a squad of 4, but it's like comparing Zelda to Overwatch. They're just two different.
You're wrong. They run 50 versus 50 all the time on Fortnite.
Yeah, 50 versus 50 blows. By the way, I've gotten into so many games of that where it's like 4 versus 25, and I'm like, oh, cool, this is fun.
Well, why are you? Well, that's just because you end up with a team that, I mean, I don't know. Most of the time, it's like I play 50 versus 50 almost exclusively, and other than maybe once or twice, I've never had blowouts like that. It's usually what happens is that you get down to about 40 versus 40, and then something pushes it over the edge, and then one team drops to about 30, 32, and then they're done. I mean, they can fight back. It's just it's a weird. The big thing is that too many people like go wandering around looking for stuff, and they need to be hightailing their ass up to the front lines.
I like PUBG even better than Fortnite. I played Fortnite for a while, and then I played PUBG, and I liked it way better. And I still like Overwatch better than both of them. But I think trying to compare the games is difficult because they're very different.
Because they're not any good compared to Fortnite. It's tough to compare.
What? How? What do you have against Overwatch?
I don't know, like I said,
it is such a. Are you just trolling me right now?
No, it's just a more stylized version of Team Fortress 2, and Team Fortress 2 is the superior game. Because Team Fortress 2 actually has the classes are just that.
I like Team Fortress.
Those are just the classes that you have. And then it comes down to personal ability with those classes. With the fact that you just keep pumping out new characters for Overwatch, just means that nobody ever really becomes specialized. Nobody ever really becomes really.
Are you kidding me? Oh my! How much Overwatch have you played, Lance?
Not enough to know I hate it.
I'm so, you know what? I am so triggered right now. Just. I will defend Overwatch to death. It is the best game I've ever played in my life.
You have the right to play. You have the right to play games that are bad. Go ahead, feel free.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to your totally basic Fortnite that every 7-year-old plays.
Well, there's no game better than Skyrim.
That comment is demonstrably untrue. So.
Well, I would say every 7-year-old plays it or claims to play it, and that's from my experience working with 7-year-olds. And the best part is when you know they're lying, and all they know is the dances. I don't think Fortnite is bad. I just think Overwatch is categorically better. It's got way more variety, way more options, and each character, for the most part, does feel incredibly diverse and different.
So do all the characters but. You don't see, that's why Team Fortress is better, because of the fact that it doesn't need 32 characters. It has the people that it started off with. They've never had to change them, and it's completely balanced, and people still play it to this day. And people just and they load up and they go back in and they play it hardcore constantly, and it's so good. And
unfortunately you can't register how many people log in and play Final Fantasy VII still. That probably kick ass.
Maybe. But no, I mean, I don't know. There's just and the fact is with Team Fortress 2, you're just like, oh, okay, it's just like my team's going bad right now. We don't have any good snipers. Okay, when I die, I'll come back as a sniper. It's like, okay, well, now it's it's just like and I don't know. It's such a good game.
Yeah, I'm going to put Barrett in my team.
Fortress is a bad game. I'm just arguing that here's the thing. The thing that I love about Overwatch more than any other game that I've ever played in my entire life is that if you do not work together and if you do not cooperate, you will lose over and over and over again. Team Fortress Classic and Team Fortress Classic 2, if you have a fantastic spy, you can win. Like, I used to be a bomb spy. I put probably 600 hours into Team Fortress Classic. Overwatch, it doesn't matter how good your best player is. As you climb the ranks, you are not going to be able to do it yourself. You have to work together. You have to have healers and tanks and this and that. You need to have synergy, and you need to be able to adjust to what the other team is doing. It's like a game of chess pretty much back and forth. And it's... And to say that
I don't know, man. I mean, when on my server where we played, I mean, because I was almost exclusively pyro, and it's just like I would you give me one other pyro and no spies even came close to us. It was just like, because we didn't play it for any reason other than to, reverse rockets back, or just everything that came close, to anything that was important. Nobody beat me on a, unless it was like something where they rampaged us, and I didn't have any defense. They didn't get the flag.
That's why he doesn't like your game, Forrest, because he loses at it, whereas in the other game he always wins.
I will say this, Lance. Do you happen to know what SR you got to, what level you got to? Because it changes drastically from like silver to platinum to diamond to master.
On which?
Because Overwatch.
Oh, I don't know. I got it. I played it for like 3 months, and I said this. I found myself going back to playing Team Fortress 2, so on my computer, and I took the game back, and
And for me, it's killed pretty much every other game. Like, nothing holds a candle to it. I'm playing a little PUBG now because they got a new map, but just, the teamwork.
Fortnite comes out with free stuff all the time.
It does. That's because it makes a boatload on the extra stuff, but I'm not saying Fortnite is bad. I just empirically think Overwatch is better by a mile. But they're, once again, completely different games. It's a third-person shooter that's mostly now about building, as opposed to a very team-based, 6 versus 6 game. I mean, they're different beasts entirely. And then Final Fantasy VII, Barry threw it in there. I mean, it'd be like trying to compare that versus Counter-Strike. I mean, how do you compare those games? Or Half-Life? They're very different, diverse games.
Yeah, Half-Life and Catan. You can't really compare them.
Well,
somebody just said this. It's like Divinity Original Sin 2 is really good. I tried to play that game. a half a dozen times. I bought it on Steam when it was on sale. I can't get into that game to save my life. There's just too much stuff. There's too many things to do. There's too many places to go. Too many.
You feel swamped.
Yeah, it's just like,
there's no guiding hand.
That might be why you don't like Overwatch, if you don't like that sort of thing. Because
I played Overwatch and I was really good at it. I mean, it was boring. It was just like, I don't know. I felt Team Fortress 2 was just did a much better job at what that was.
And I completely disagree. And I played a lot of TFC too, but it completely killed it for me, as it did most first-person shooters.
Probably because you weren't any good at Team Fortress. That's all I'm saying.
No, actually, I was pretty spectacular.
Oh, really? Screenshot?
Anything that's team-based is my jam. Like, if you can win without working as a team, I have no interest in playing it. I want teamwork. I want synergy. I want that.
Well, see, that's why you don't like Fortnite, because you have to go off on your own. You can't rely on just yourself. You got to have other people.
No. I like PUBG.
You got to have other people carry you to the win.
No, I think PUBG is just it's better than Fortnite in my opinion. I just like the slow play style better. I like the fact that it's not just, hey, I can build better than you, and I immediately have a better chance of winning.
It's once you get the Twitch down for the building, I thought the same thing for like the first week I played, and then you get the weird Twitch memory to build up your stuff, and once you have that, it's nothing, because everybody fights the exact same way. It's like you put the box around you, and then you build the ramp, and then you run up the ramp at the person, and
exactly. That's a problem. No. If everybody fights the same way, and that's the best way to fight, that's an issue.
No, it isn't, because then it comes down to actual skill. It isn't. It has, and my ability to have the ability to zero in on you and shoot you, and evade your ability to shoot me.
So you're telling me if I don't have enough resources, I'm hosed? Is that what you're telling me? So
don't tell me and the round one. Go back to your corners.
It comes down to, you collected more resources. You can build something higher than me. You have the high ground. This is like Star Wars episode, 3 all over again. I got the high ground. I'm going to crush you.
That's a demonstrably untrue comparison. But the point, you have a situation where it's like resources are easy to get. You go chop down a tree, you get like 65 wood. So you chop down 2 trees. You have all the resources you need to build whatever it is you're going to build for any firefight that you're going to get into. So, because that's the biggest thing people forget about Fortnite. The Fortnite is not about the long game. Fortnite is about your interaction with one other person when you see them and your ability to kill them. Because after you kill them, more often than not, you're going to have that like 30 seconds to yourself where you can retool, you can chop down a wall that's near you, you can chop down another tree, get your resources back, and get ready for the next one person that you run into again. That's, I mean, and it's so
unless you're playing squads or duos.
Well,
I mean,
if you're playing squads, it's a little bit different. But I'm talking about just like the true Fortnite challenge. That's what it is. So it comes down to you against the other person. There's a little bit of luck involved as far as like who got a chest that has this weapon or that weapon, but you know,
a little bit.
No, because honestly,
are you kidding me, Lance? You can have 200 health just because you happen to stumble onto a nice chest and I didn't. 200 health versus 100 health. Don't tell me it's a little bit random.
I love stumbling onto a nice chest.
There's a little bit of luck involved there, but I mean, for the most part, like especially like in any kind of game, like the map's huge. You pick a spot where nobody else is. You land there. You're gonna have access to 2 or 3 chests. You're going to find the shield potions you need to get to 200. It's not that difficult.
I would play with you if you weren't playing on a douchey PlayStation that won't let anybody play with anybody else.
Oh, really? There's a PlayStation that has more users than all the other consoles?
80 million users. I understand that. That's still douchey that they're not letting. The Nintendo can play with Xbox. Xbox can play with PC. Nintendo can play with PC. My Xbox can play with my iPad. Can play with my phone. But PlayStation's like, nah, we're not gonna let you guys do that.
Well, it's because we already have the 80 million people we need. We don't need it.
Oh my gosh. Well, we got the better online system, the more reliable online system. Either way.
What online system is that?
Xbox Live has been around since I was like 17 years old, and it is vastly better than PlayStation Network.
Oh,
there's no
incorrect again.
You can look online and check this out. It's not. Oh my gosh!
What's the empirical data? How does it work better?
You know what? I would pull up a link right now, but my computer can only do 1 tab at a time when I'm on Google Hangouts.
I will back Forrest up on that. I've heard lots of times that the service with Microsoft is a lot better than.
We also did get all of our information hacked 2 years ago as well, so that's a plus. You know.
Yeah, and they haven't had the systems hacked either, like Sony did many years ago.
I guess the 80 million people that use it, I guess they're all stupid then, huh?
No. I'm a PlayStation person, but you know that's the facts.
I have no problem admitting that I am a fanboy when it comes to Xbox, and that it's stupid that I don't. Because here's the thing. I want virtual reality for me and my family. That's what I want. I want to play Skyrim in VR, and that would be the one reason why I'd buy a PlayStation. But I'm attached to my Xbox. I've had the same Xbox Live account for 12 years. I got a 3-letter name, and so yeah.
Even if it was worse, you'd never admit it. You know, just because.
Is it the same 3-letter name that you had on like Space Invaders at the end?
No.
Oh, yeah.
It stands for bacon lettuce queef. That's BLQ.
Okay.
No, I disagree with you very, very strongly about Fortnite versus Overwatch, but it's a matter of opinion.
It's
and
okay.
Your opinion's wrong.
You can be wrong all day long.
I'm sorry, there's too many choices in Overwatch and too many different paths to take aside from build as high as you can and then try and shotgun someone in the head. And if you miss the shot,
I would much rather lose because the person's better than me, as opposed to, oh look, you picked the one character that's like really good against mine, and I just I guess we're just not evenly matched, so I guess I lose.
It's called switching characters. If you're getting countered,
wait. Okay, let me get this straight. So when I run into you, I can just say, stop. I'm going to switch my character. I'll be right back.
You have to wait until you die, but if you're...
So let me get this straight. So whereas if I'm playing Fortnite and I'm facing right now, me and that other person, we're exactly the same.
No, you're not, because you started off near 3 chests and they started off near a guy who pumped him in the back of the head with a shotgun, so now they got 12 health.
But the fact of the matter is, we both entered the game with the same equal opportunity to gear ourselves up and to face each other and then face each other. At that point,
until you jump out of the plane,
if we both have the opportunity there to gear ourselves up and face. Whereas if you pick whatever Dingle Fritz, whatever new character, and this person takes Beeble Bob or whatever, and Beeble Bob just is a much better person if it ever runs into Dingle Fritz, well, you meet, you lose. Why? Because this one's just better matched against you for that.
Lose. It still comes down to skill. They just have an advantage over you, which is why your team will be like, hey, can you switch off this character? They have countered you. It's play versus counterplay. You're playing checkers. I'm playing chess over here.
Oh, you're playing chess.
Example.
I guess I just appreciate the fact that if I lose, I'm done. I just don't get to respawn again and then just, doesn't matter if I died, I'll just start over. Oh, it doesn't matter if I died, I'll just start over. You get one life, you get one shot. You lose, play another time. That's real.
Yeah, and if I want a game like that, I'll play PUBG, which I will argue is a better game than Fortnite as well, even with all of its terrible bugs.
Yeah, and so last time I checked, how is PUBG doing in comparison?
Oh, are we going by sales? How's The Last Jedi doing, Lance?
Well,
we going there? We going with sales? Number one DVD of the year?
Sales. You know why? Because look at the repercussions Last Jedi has had. The succession of repercussions, the negativity that Star Wars is getting. Truth has come out, and the proof is in the pudding. As we see Solo making less money than the Meg. That is a demonstrable result of the fact that The Last Jedi has been bad. So yes, we will go sales.
Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why Fortnite's so popular? And this isn't a knock. It's because it's free. That is the only reason that it has gotten its popularity.
If you gave people free shit sandwiches, you wouldn't sell 1 billion of them.
I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying that there are other, and yes, you would. Yes, you would.
No, you. Okay, I want you to start up the business. You start the business in your lawn. Free shit sandwiches. You shit and put it between 2 rocks. And free shit.
I got a 130-pound dog. Don't tempt me.
No, you do it, and you see if the people actually do it. Prove me wrong. Free shit either way.
Someone will scrape it off and feed the bread to the birds.
A piece of my dog's crap between 2 rocks for free. Take it.
Well, that's a different thing. Either way, all right. I'm gonna get off. We can agree to disagree.
We can agree that you're wrong. Yes.
Oh, so yeah, what, 22 positions in the one night stand there because you're gonna get off.
Good seeing you as always, Barry.
Wait. Hey, Forrest, didn't you say this is what you love? Do you love to argue?
I do love to argue, but it's clear to me.
But not when you're losing, right? Not when you're losing.
No, it's when you've got someone who's closed-minded. That's the thing.
Yes. Your opinion is already made up that Overwatch sucks compared to Fortnite and that PUBG compares to Fortnite. There is no arguing about it. The fact that I immediately knew this conversation was going to go nowhere when you told me that there's too many choices in Overwatch. That is a negative to you, that there is too many different diverse characters in the game.
Because it doesn't inspire people to actually practice and get better. And also I can remember when I really played Team Fortress, I was really, really good at Pyro. I was really good at Demo. I was really good at Sniper. I mean, I was there were if I had put the time in, I probably could have mastered the classes, all of them. I mean, I was a really good heavy weapons guy, and that's a tough class to get really good at.
Oh my gosh, HW guy? Are you kidding me?
If
you have the most powerful gun in the game by a mile, you got health up the yayo.
Really? And if every time you shoot, you're basically your forehead is a walking sniper bullet magnet. That's all it is. you have being mobile as a heavy weapons guy is like one of the most difficult things in the world. If you don't have your cute little medic, attached, you're attached to your back, which I rarely did, it is a tough class to pull off.
Well, in a more team-based game, that would be an issue. And I love Team Fortress Classic 2 more than 1, but either way, 1 more than 2, I should say. Either way, yeah, I'm gonna get off. We did say we were gonna wrap it up 40 minutes ago too.
That is true. So, well, that was Forrest losing yet another argument.
Oh my god! If I could pull up more tabs on my computer, I would point to so much empirical evidence.
And yes, Kabuki Kid, this is my OSR T-shirt. I really like this, and it's old school rules. Old school rules revival, like D&D. Enough of this 5th edition crap. Let's go back and play D&D when it was real.
I like the old stuff, like Team Fortress Classic 2. I don't like the new stuff that added 20 more characters.
I'm Forrest. All right, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Take it easy.